All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Let's go ahead. Anyone who was not present in the last class? You were absent or you are a new admission? Who else? You are not there in the last class. You're there online. Okay. Fantastic. Let's go ahead. You have any idea what we did in the last class? Regarding the, I didn't even start income tax. Nahi, nahi. But good try. A basic introduction about taxation, about CA course, about CA intermediate, about how we are going to learn our subject. Now is the time to actually commence our study on the subject direct tax. In CA inter we have direct tax for, come on, 50 marks, and for these 50 marks we have only one law applicable, that is the Income Tax Act enacted in the year 1961. Income Tax Act 1961. As you are also aware, I told you this as well. The income tax law starts with the first section to the last section. Yeah. I am not. Now you can hear me, but I can't see you. It has to be mutual, no? Good. Sorry. First section to the last section, and only 50% of this income tax law is your syllabus of CA inter. So there are a lot of things in the Income Tax Act which we are not going to learn at intermediate because they are not a part of your syllabus. However, there will be cases, certain occasions, certain places where to study or to understand the inter ka syllabus, it will be better if you know the final wala part. So at those places, I will be discussing the final wala part as well. However, only 50% of the income tax law is a part of your CA intermediate syllabus. Are we clear on this? We discussed this in the last class also. So when you start doing your financial transaction, first time try to recollect your your class 11 in Mumbai. We call it first year junior college. You started learning accounts. The first thing that you were taught was financial transactions. We passed something called journal entries, later converted into ledger, journal, ledger. I'll keep it simple. ट्रायल बैलेंस आप इसके अंदर नाउ यू डोंट टेल मी नहीं नहीं सर परचेज डे बुक सेल्स डे बुक ऑल दैट इज अंडरस्टूड एंड फाइनली कन्वर्टेड इनटू your final accounts where you computed your profit as per your accounts. Is that understood? After this, the income tax law requires you to do two more things. One, from these accounts you have to calculate something called your income, because please understand, you pay tax when you have income. Income Tax Act के अंदर you pay tax if you have income. See, a tax like GST you'll pay on your consumption. So if you're buying goods or services, you'll pay GST. But for income tax to take place, there has to be obviously what? Income. So you will have to learn how to calculate that income, and once calculated, you will have to learn how to calculate tax. So this is our target. Do you realize till this stage you are already done? So these are the two extra things that you will be learning. So basically, I am here to teach you calculation of income and calculation of tax. You want to guess what will come first, income or tax? Income depends. I'll explain now. Supposingly you are a CA student. Yes, you go in this order, and therefore you calculate income first and then tax. Okay, but you are going to be a CA student only for the next 3 years, 3.5 years. Thereafter you are a CA. You have to do the same calculation like this. And the difference between a CA and a good CA. For example, I am a chartered accountant. I also have a CA form. Of course, ma'am handles it because I don't have time. Our Marwadi relatives, they come to us and tell us, this year I want to pay 25,000 tax. क्या बोला? This year I want to pay 25,000 tax. Now calculate my income accordingly. For getting 25,000 tax, how much income is required? My actual income is higher than that. Okay, no problem. Record journal entries, expense account, debit to cash account. Reduce that profit to bring it to 25,000. Or maybe my profits are lower than what it is required for 25,000 tax. So pass journal entry, cash account, debit to sales. You are understanding the entries that are expense to cash or cash to sales? To adjust the profit in such a way that you get the tax amount as desired by your client. Now your question will be, sir, how do they come to this 25,000? Supposingly I want a bank loan. The banks have criteria. To sanction your loan, there has to be a certain amount of profit, a certain amount of tax that you're paying over the last 3 years. So what I as a chartered accountant tell my client, you go ask your banker, kitna tax chahiye? How much tax do you want? I will bring that much. Talent hai, bro. So that is the difference between your journey as a CA student and your work post qualification as a chartered accountant. Or we often say that is the difference between a CA and a good CA. You need to start with tax and go to income. But of course, for classroom purposes, for academic purposes, we will learn how to calculate first income and subsequently we move to calculation of tax. Correct? And for this, we have been given our Income Tax Act. Like every act, like every law, you have studied law before. So you know, every law is divided into sections. First section of Income Tax Act is like any other law, title and commencement. Matlab, sir, this act will be known as the Income Tax Act 1961. It will come into force from the 1st of April 1962, bro. You were there? I was also not there. My father's year of birth is 1960, but mother's is 64. That way, technically, my mom was also not there. So your parents, who will be now almost my age, so obviously they were also not there. Slowly and gradually, I'm reaching that age where I will actually be asking, "Mummy, kaisi hai?" You know the meme or no? कोई idea नहीं. Just stop calling yourself Gen Z. हाँ तो 1962 से this act is in force. This is something totally irrelevant as far as your examination is concerned. Are we clear on this? Now, those who are doing additional research, which is not required, okay, sir, somewhere on some social media platform, I have come across some information that there is going to be some new direct tax code, some new income tax bill. You must have come across, no? You don't follow only such news. So you all are very smart if you don't follow such news. I'll tell you why. You don't have to be a chartered accountant to know this. Anybody with basic knowledge of parliamentary procedures, anybody who has studied civics in class 10, not you, na, COVID batch, nahin, offline batch, knows that any proposal of the government is not final. They are only proposals. They call it a bill. It is going to be approved by the majority of the parliament in the lower house Lok Sabha, then the upper house Rajya Sabha, and one fine day, there is one person in our country who is created only to felicitate others. President of India. The day when the bill receives the stamp of the president, we say that the bill has been assented by the president. It now becomes the act. It will take some time. And it may not take place. Income tax law was proposed to be replaced, abolished and changed. In 2009, it was scrapped. In 2013, it was scrapped. Yes, I do agree. Our current political situation is such that our government is a little stubborn. Little se thoda zyada stubborn. That if they have decided they have to do it, they will do it. But unless and until they do it, it is still not in force. So you have to study the existing Income Tax Act 1961. And then title and commencement is of no use because it is more than 6 decades old. Section 2, like any law, come on. Definitions. Of course, definitions are going to be relevant for examination, but we don't learn section 2 right now. If we are doing a particular chapter where we need to learn the definition of a concept, we'll come to section 2 and learn that. Section 2 will be studied by the flow. As we go further in our syllabus, wherever required, whichever definition is required, we will be learning that definition at that point of time. Right now, we don't have to learn any definition. If I take you to section 3, section 3 has given us something called previous year. There is a concept called previous year in income tax law. Anybody taking down notes? Write it and ignore it like Modi ignores Kejriwal. It is of absolutely no use right now. In the next maybe 15-20 minutes, half an hour or so, I will be. Then yeah, when I say write it and ignore it, it was only to those who were writing. I don't force people to write. Your primary objective in class is to pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay? Writing should not divert your attention. I said, if you are writing, you write it and ignore it. Those who are not writing, just chill. Enjoy the show. Okay? Previous year, 15-20 minutes, half an hour ka time you give me. When I say you give me, you have got no other choice. You have to give me. In half an hour, it will become clear to you what exactly is this concept of previous year. And all eyes, all attention here, please. This section 4, give it as many stars as you want. This is known as the charging section of the income tax law. This section is the Gita, Quran, Bible, Agam, Guru Granth Sahib, Kalpasutra, whichever religion you believe in. This section is the holy book of the income tax law. This section is going to lay down the roadmap of what we have to study. A charging section typically in any tax, not just income tax. We are learning only income tax, but in general for any tax, because this is not just the beginning of your direct tax syllabus. This is also the beginning of your taxation journey in life. So for any tax, the charging section means what? What exactly does the charging section mean? Charging section ka matlab is, do you have income? Pay tax on that. This section will enforce the law on you. This is that section which will make you liable for payment of income tax in our country, and therefore we call it the charging section. This will charge income tax on you, and it's a law, so you have to comply. Let us see what is written in the charging section. It's a big sentence. Please pay attention. Long statement. So for convenience, I am dividing that big statement into 5 small parts. So the 5 lines that I will be writing here are not independent of each other. Together they make a sentence, but we will understand the sentence part by part by part. This strategy will also help you in the long run for any subject of yours. When you're doing something very big which is complicated, break it into small understandable parts and things will become easy for you. And that's what I'm doing here. A big sentence divided into 5 small understandable parts, starting with the first line, which says income tax is payable. This is the role of the charging section. Charging section ka role, duty, responsibility is this: to make you liable for payment of what? So what do you have to pay to the government? Income. Common sense, that you don't have to pay your income. Just imagine government telling you that pay us your income, and then they give you Bhagavad Gita ka gyan. Kya leke aaye the, kya leke jaoge. No, you don't have to pay your entire income to the government. You have to pay only your income tax. This, of course, is not a statement or a sentence. No, this is only the first part of the big sentence. Income tax is payable by whom? By every person has to pay income tax. Income tax is payable by every person. You or me, no one is immune. Of course, there has to be income. So, for example, right now you are in your student life. I assume you don't have any income. Maybe if you are professionally performing, sports or dance or arts or anything, and you are getting paid, but that can be exceptional cases here. In general, in student life, we don't have any income. There is no question of income tax. Income tax will come on you, obviously, when you have income. But once you have income, whether you or me, no one has immunity. Income tax is payable by every person. Is that understood? Second part of the sentence. In each assessment year, income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year. I'll require a couple of minutes to explain this. Okay. You don't pay income tax on your income earned on a day-to-day basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Just imagine someone earning some income on the first day of the year in his office or shop, and before going home, going to the income tax office, knock, knock, "Yele aaj ka tax." Income tax department is not a daily wage worker. We don't pay weekly tax or monthly tax. We have to pay tax on our income of the entire year. And for this, some may be aware, some may not be aware, India does not consider a year from January to December. In India, the financial year, the fiscal year we call it, is considered from the, come on, yes, you know this, 1st of April to the 31st of March. We say year ending 31st March. So we will be calculating our income from 1st April to 31st March, the entire year. Make sense? In that entire year, you will earn income from various places. You know, income tax law cannot teach us how to earn income. You work for someone else, you get salary. Other people work for you, you have profits in your business. You have invested in a property, you will earn rent. You have invested in shares, you will earn dividend. You have purchased debentures, you will earn interest. You have a bank account, you will earn interest. You sell your property, you will earn profit on sale. How to make money, that the law cannot teach you. The law says you count or consider or calculate what is the total income that you have earned during the year. And then on that total you have to pay tax. Make sense? Now here is the problem. If I have to calculate my income from the 1st of April to the 31st of March, I'm asking you a question. At what point of time during this year can I actually calculate my total of the year? Can I calculate it here? No. You can't calculate what you're going to earn in the future. So beginning of the year, not possible. Middle of the year, not possible. What do you think is your answer? End of the year is also wrong. Understand how? 31st March morning, may you calculate your income? Afternoon, a customer walks into your shop to buy something. If you sell it, will it change your income calculation? So what do you tell your customer? No, I have calculated. The calculation kharab hoga. So come tomorrow. Never say no when someone is paying you. When my relatives come home, they are giving me money. I first take, then ask why. First take, then ask why. So you cannot calculate even on 31st of March. Do you understand what I am saying? You can calculate your income not at the beginning of the year, not in the middle of the year, not at the end of the year, only when the new year starts. So because you are now in the next year, please understand. Now if any new income takes place also, it will be considered as income of the next year. So your this year ka calculation cannot now change. That means whatever income I earn, I will be calculating in the next year. So earn in the first year, calculate in the next year. Of course, here again you are earning something, no? But this year ka income, now you calculate in the next year. Do you understand? And the word calculation has been given a legal name called assessment. The word assessment ka simple meaning is what? Calculation. Assessment ka simple meaning is what? Calculation. So assessment here means what? Assessment here means I am sitting and calculating the income of the year which is just over, the last year. And therefore we will be, abhi dekho, if we have not calculated only, how will we be paying the tax? So income tax is payable by every person. But when do you have to pay it? Not right now when you are earning the income. Will you be paying any tax now? No. You will be paying maybe for the last year. But this year ka income ka tax, you will be paying in the next year. And this next year will be called assessment year. The year immediately after your income earning year will be called your assessment year. It is that year in which you will calculate also, and it is that year in which you will pay also. Later during the day's lecture, I will be doing more detailed explanation about assessment year. There is another concept called previous year. I'll talk about that also, but we'll be having more detailed explanation about this concept later in today's class only. What is the statement so far? Income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year. Here comes the biggest of all. Income tax is payable. You want to guess on what? Income tax will be calculated on what? On your income. Fantastic. Obviously, income tax has to be calculated on income. But only saying income tax is payable on income is incorrect. Property मतलब नया घर. So income किधर? You buy something so it is expense or income? Income tax will come on income, not expense. तो जो income है, you are saying मेरा income है, I buy a house. Fantastic. You earn income. First pay tax. सुन. First pay. After paying tax, what is left is your money. Buy a house with that money. आप क्या सोच रहे हो? That I will first earn income. With that I will buy my house and finish my money. फिर टैक्स भरने के लिए what? नहीं. Your income is not fully yours. सुन ले. What's your name? परम. Last time you were online. हाँ. तो ऐसा लगा कि handsome face physically. Good. Learn something, guys. Being in the classroom is much more exciting, I'm telling you. So Param, listen, your income is not fully yours. Your income belongs to you only to the extent after paying taxes. तो घर भी उससे खरीदना हो. I'll come to that. But one thing is for sure, that this, while the statement is correct, it is still incomplete. We will be paying taxes not on our income, but on our total income. One at a time, peacefully, on our total income. Abhi, some time back, I gave you some examples of making money, whether salary or profits in your business or rent or interest or dividend or profit on sale of asset. We don't pay income tax on individual incomes separately. Is it possible I have salary income and rental income both? Is it possible I have business income and dividend income both? Is it possible I have salary income, business income, dividend, interest, everything I have? I will be taking the total of all my incomes, and income tax will not be payable on any individual income. Income tax will be payable on my total income. Income tax is not payable on income, it is payable on total income. That also not my total income of 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, but my total income of the entire year commencing on 1st April, ending on 31st March, and the calculation will be done in the very next year, and therefore the next year is called assessment. Now things will become a little clear as the sentence proceeds further. Income tax is payable not on income, bro. Income tax is payable on total income. Is that clear? It is still incomplete. You still see some space here. ऐसा थोड़ी Microsoft Word का justified font is going on therefore spread over करके. No, I will be utilizing this space. Next, income tax is not payable on total income. Income tax is payable on my taxable total income. When you earn income, either the government will levy tax on you or the government will not levy tax on you. There are some incomes on which our government does not want income tax. Give me an example. Come on, we have discussed this. I am asking you because I have discussed it. Agriculture income के ऊपर government does not want tax. I also told you in the last class about the constitutional defect, the reason why there is no tax on agriculture. I see quite a few new faces. I want to know any student who was not there in the last class, online as well as offline. For example, there were some who were online. You were online. Who was not there at all in the last class? आपका तो you told me you were absent. You all are new admissions or you all were absent? Absent. I am staying in false hopes. कि मे बी समवन सेड कि यार वो डायरेक्ट टैक्स का फैकल्टी बहुत मस्त है, तो यू शुड ज्वाइन दिस क्लास. आई एम वेटिंग फॉर समवन टू से दैट. We discussed this in the last class. Did you go through the video? Did you go through the notes or anything? नहीं. फिर भी you were taking random guesses. सर टैक्स के बारे में कुछ बोला था. In the last class, we discussed why there is no income tax on agriculture. That means one thing is for sure, on agriculture income, we don't have to pay tax. Now, supposingly, I have got salary income. Simple example देता हूँ. Salary income 10 lakh and I have got agriculture income 5 lakh. Salary 10, agriculture. If I ask you my total income, the answer is 50. But on this income, government does not want tax. So for income tax purposes, my income will be only 10, which is why we say taxable total income. Not just a total income, but taxable total income. Incomes will be of two types. Type 1, those incomes on which government wants tax. That will come in this chapter, in this law, and we call it our taxable income. Type 2, the income on which government does not want a tax. Example, agriculture. Simple language में can I call it non-taxable income? But you will not use the term ever. We will not learn something wrong now and correct it later. From day one, we will be clear about our concepts. You will be calling this income exempt income. The word exempt means we don't want tax on this. Exempt from tax. I am not saying non-taxable as a term is incorrect, but this is a more appropriate term. From day one, we will be talking like professionals in our interaction with people. So do not use the term non-taxable in front of anyone. From first day itself, what are we going to call it? Exempt income. Incomes on which we don't want to, or the government does not want us to pay tax. We don't have to pay tax. Those incomes will be called exempt income. Example, agriculture. And therefore, do you understand that the income that we will calculate in this law will be after subtracting, after removing our exempt incomes, the amount which is left, that is our taxable income. So income tax is payable on not income but total income, not total income but taxable total income. Income tax is payable on net taxable total income. And those thinking, sir, still there is some space. ठीक है चल. NTTL. Income tax is payable on net taxable total income. This is the correct term. Now, sir, what is this? See, एक तो income tax is payable on income requires no explanation. Total was a very small explanation, you understood. Your exempt income ka explanation you understood. Now, please pay attention to this. I will first take total of all my incomes, the taxable ones. You know, maybe salary, dividend, rent, I will take total of all of them. Is this my total income? Is this the total of only the taxable amounts? I have removed the exempt amounts. That means have I taken care of the things written here? But now, after this, my government is coming to me with a proposal, with some questions, with some discussion. Supposingly, I am the government, you are the citizen. Me government, you citizen. Hi citizen, bolo hi government. Hi citizen. Hi citizen. Listen, you are the only earning member of your family. Understand what I am explaining? Government is trying to explain to you something. You are the only earning member of your family. If you die, your family will be dependent upon us. Why do you want your family members to be dependent on someone? Why don't you go for something called life insurance? What is life insurance? You will be paying some premium and buying a policy. If the death of the policy holder takes place, the nominee will get money. You have basic knowledge of life insurance. And of course, there are some policies which give you also something called maturity benefit, even if death has not taken place. Correct? Eh? So please buy life insurance. Government is requesting you. You understand the situation? Another request. What if you are unwell? You will have hospitalization expenses. Government hospitals will give you maybe free treatment, concessional treatment, but you know the condition of government hospitals, and private hospitals are expensive. So why don't you buy something called medical insurance, health insurance. Again, what is going to happen? We will have to pay a premium and our hospitalization expenses will be reimbursed by the insurance companies. But do you realize life insurance, health insurance, etc. are going to initially result in outflow of funds from your pocket? First step is premium. No, money to we get later. Claim. Step one is premium. So I am like, I don't want to pay. Why spend unnecessarily now? Just imagine, I am taking life insurance on my life. I am paying premium from my pocket out of my earnings. Why? So that if I die, my wife gets money. Bro, if I die, why do I care? You also die. I have to take the burden on me so that my wife gets money. From my money, I have to pay premium. Why? You also die. Why should I? It may sound funny, but the fact is that if I don't secure the future of my family will be maybe dependent on government resources. And therefore, government is requesting me, please. Acha, ek offer. The premium that you pay for your life insurance, medical insurance, are these your personal expenses? You are not doing a favor on anybody by buying these policies. But we will give you something called a tax benefit of this premium. We call it a deduction. The life insurance premium that you pay, the medical insurance premium that you pay, we will give you deductions despite it having nothing to do with your income earning. It's a personal expense, a personal decision that you have taken. We will give you the deduction and we will take tax not on the gross amount of your earning but on the net amount after taking these deductions. These deductions are basically a tax benefit which our government has proposed in the income tax law to encourage small middle class households to go for life insurance, medical insurance, etc. products. So end of the day, think about it. If I am getting a deduction, is it reducing the amount on which I will pay tax? So can I safely call it a tax benefit? And think about it as a student. If I am eligible for a deduction, so the calculation that you have to do in your exam ka question, will you have to incorporate that premium ka amount? Do you have to subtract that premium ka amount to arrive at the amount on which you will calculate tax? So obviously you will have to learn that also. We will not be paying tax on gross income. We will be paying tax on. Here is the complete statement, ladies and gentlemen. Complete statement matlab this line, sentence is not over. Income tax is payable not on income, but on net taxable total income. Income tax is payable on net taxable total income. Everyone is understanding? So, first line, income tax is payable, very easy. Everyone has to pay. Little idea I gave you about assessment here. Later in the class, I will do in detail. You understood net taxable total income? And then, this net taxable total income should be earned during the and why previous year. This, if you understood the explanation of assessment here, you have already understood that the day when I sit and calculate, the year for which I am calculating is already over. It has become previous and therefore we are calculating for the year which is over. For example, right now we are in financial year 25-26. So think about it. Right now, I will not be able to calculate any income of this year because the year is still going on. I am somewhere on this date, no? So in this year, I can't calculate income of this year. I can calculate income of 24-25. So understand, 25-26 is the assessment year for the income that I have earned in 24-25. In simple language, in this year, I will calculate income of 24-25. So don't you think or don't you realize that 24-25 for this year has become previous year? In simple language, earn income in 1 year, calculate in the next year. Earn income in 1 year, calculate in the next year. The income earning year will be called previous year and the year immediately after that in which we calculate will be called assessment year. The income earning year will be called and the next year in which we calculate will be called. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your previous year and assessment year. So income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year on the net taxable total income earned during the previous year. Is this statement understood? I want to see a show of hands. Be a little participative. My class is going to be very, very interactive. Okay? But only till the time you cooperate. If you stop interacting with me, things will be difficult for both of us. So, how many people, raise your hand straight up and tell me how many people have actually understood what we have done here, this statement. Income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year on the net taxable total income earned during the previous year. Pack your bags and go home, pagal log. Understanding this is your syllabus. If I finish explanation of section 4, I will say your syllabus is over. I will explain how. What do you mean by person? Huh? You think you and me? No. It can be a partnership firm also. It can be a company also. It can be LLP. We have to go and learn the definition of person. Understand now, please. Understand. Okay. Next. As far as this concept is concerned, previous year, and this concept is concerned, assessment year, you are probably making a claim you have understood because you've understood the process. Earn in 1 year, calculate in the next year. But then, are we aware that income tax law changes every year? Yes. Yes. The eligible exemptions, the deductions, the amounts, the annual budget changes everything. That means the calculation of 23-24 ka income was maybe different from 22-23, is different in 24-25. It is going to be different in 25-26. Your exams are going to be next year. You know, your exam is after March. Hello. So it's a new financial year. So again, the calculation is going to be different. So you have the brain to understand. You don't have to learn income tax law of 6 decades and go. You have to learn the applicable income tax law of that year in which you are giving your exams. So for your exam, which previous year, which assessment year is going to be applicable? No, don't guess. I will tell you. No. Anything that you guess will be incorrect. So let there be an appropriate time where I will only tell you which previous year is applicable in your exam, which assessment year is applicable in your exam, or maybe I can say it like this also, which budget I have to learn and do. Because every budget is different. Every budget amendments are different. For my exam, which budget is applicable, I will be telling you very soon in today's lecture. But yes, that much part is still remaining. So you can't say that you've understood this part also. Ye clear hai? Now, if you observe carefully the 5 lines that I have written here, there are 2 parts that I haven't highlighted and 3 I have. So person, PY, AY I have highlighted. This person, PY, AY ka explanation will get over today. First lecture, first chapter, this will get over. If I am going to teach you for 55 lectures of 3 hours each, 40 lectures, 40 hours nahi, bro. 40 lectures will be only to learn how to calculate net taxable total income. How to calculate something called salary income or house property income or business income or capital gains income. How to calculate something called deductions that I was talking about, life insurance, medical insurance. What are the upper limits? What are the thresholds? What are the conditions? When is it allowed? When is it not allowed? 40 lectures. 55 में से 40 you can calculate the percentage. Is going to be calculation of income. Okay, bro. Income calculation done. After income calculation, what do you have to do? So what are the tax rates applicable? Individual will pay tax at what rates? Company will pay tax at what rates? On income, we have to apply some rate. But what rate? We have to go and learn calculation of income tax. The definition of person, previous year and assessment year will be covered in the first chapter itself. In fact, today only all 3 will get over. First chapter is only, name of the chapter is basic concepts, 3 definitions, person, PY, AY done, chapter will get over. The second chapter, now please pay attention, Charging section is over. Charging section is over. Whatever I have written in black color is what is written in the charging section. But I am adding a line here. And because it is not a part of the section, I am changing the color. This line will improve your knowledge on the charging section. The above calculation depends on something called residential status and scope of income. Residential status and scope of income. This is my second chapter. This is my second chapter. If I have to just show you the index also. 1 second. First chapter is basic concepts. Here we will learn definition of person, PY, AY. So 3 concepts over, first chapter over. Second chapter, name only of the chapter is residential status and scope of total income. So if I complete my second chapter, then this part also will get over. But we still have to learn calculation of income and calculation of tax. Sir, what is this residential status? Just 2 minutes ka explanation. This is our next chapter. In fact, whenever is my next lecture, timetable I have not been given as yet. Whenever is my next lecture, I will be starting residential status in the next lecture. Supposingly, I am someone who stays in India and I am earning in India. I am working in India. Good, this place, India. Hopefully, I will get paid. Hopefully. In India. Stupid question. Do I have to pay tax in India? Yes. Not even a question. Chalo, fantastic. Elon Musk. Hey, maza aa raha hai. Whatever is happening between Musk and Trump, you have any idea? We are only hoping that okay, Tesla ka shares fall further so we can buy them and then soon they will rise again. No, for that also you need income, bro. To buy those shares also you need some income. Okay? So Elon, or rather, he is an American industrialist. If you are not comfortable with that, let us take the name of any sports person whom you are familiar with, any cricketer, any footballer of a foreign country, anyone you follow. Messi. He stays where? Barcelona, Spain. He is working there. He is earning there. Does he have to pay tax in India? I mean, there are people who are discussing Spain ka nahi, Germany ka nahi. That is not relevant. Not relevant. My question is, does he have to pay tax in India? And do you realize it is again not even a question? An Indian earning in India has to pay tax. A foreigner earning in his country does not have to pay tax. Let us put this discussion to an end. We don't waste any time in discussing this. My questions are the two in between situation. Please focus. Indian cricketer, anyone you like? Rohit Sharma. Good. If you would have said Virat Kohli, no, I would have cared. Rohit Sharma makes sense. You are in Mumbai, you have to say Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma. He is not going to England now. He has retired from Test cricket. Supposingly he was going. Rohit Sharma going to England to play a tournament. So his normal place of stay is where? India. But he is earning where? England, foreign country. Does he have to pay tax? Don't give me the answer. Wait. Don't give me the answer. Indian going outside for earning, is that income going to be taxable? Is a question. Stay with the question. Answer is not required. And take a reverse situation. Abhi England ka cricketer. Now don't say Ben Stokes. कोई भी बोलना. Phil Salt England का. Phil Salt. English cricketer. Comes to India. 2 months in a year, all these beggars come to India. Comes to India, plays here, earns here. Foreigner coming and earning in India. Is that income taxable? Please understand. Indian earning in India is not my question. Foreigner earning in his country is not my question. My questions are the two in between situations. Indian earning outside India. Foreigner earning in India. Rohit Sharma and Phil Salt. Are these incomes liable for taxation in India? You understand the question? Sir, where is the answer? Here. This second chapter will give us answers to these questions. Whether Indian earning outside or foreigner earning in India, do they have to pay tax? Answers are hidden in the second chapter. Now, do you realize the two possible answers are taxable or not taxable? Rohit Sharma earning in England or Phil Salt earning in India, either it will be taxable or it will be exempt. Whatever is the answer, will it change this calculation? Think about it. No? If the answer is taxable, then I have to take it in NTTI. And if the answer is not taxable, then I don't have to take it in NTTI. Means, will the answer that I get here have an impact on this calculation? Yes, and then read what I have written. My calculation depends on residential status and scope of total. The second chapter will make these things clear. So first chapter is basic concept, only an introduction of PY, AY, person. Second chapter will give an answer about these foreign wala situation. And they have direct impact on calculation of NTTI. Is that clear? So do you realize effectively the charging section that I have written in front of you now has got 6 lines. The 6th line, I agree, is not written in the section, but it has impact. So I have written it here. We have to learn these 6 parts. Out of the 6 parts, 4 parts will get over at the end of the second chapter. Please understand that. Which 4 parts? Person, PY, AY, and residential status, scope of total income. So name only of the second chapter. That means 2 things left. Which 2 things? Calculation of income and calculation of tax. Oh bro. Income calculation will start at chapter number 3. The first 2 over, so income calculation will start at 3 only, no? And you want to know where it will get over? Chapter number 11. 9 chapters only for calculation of income. Kya hua? Was it too cold? Now you are sorted. So good, no? You can hear me louder. Arey kaam dhande pe dhyan do, please. 9 chapters only to learn calculation of income. I'll tell you about those 9 chapters, but 9 chapters. If you want to know the 9 chapters, chapter number 3 to chapter number 11, we have 9 chapters only to learn calculation of net taxable total income. I will be telling you a little about all these chapters. I am introducing your syllabus to you now. I am introducing to you what are these 18 chapters that I have to teach you with the help of the charging section. So, first chapter will teach us person PYAY. Second chapter, the foreign wala situations ka answer, residential status, and then 9 chapters to calculate income. Then some are like, sir, income 9 chapters ho gaya. Now 1 chapter for tax. No, bro. 3 chapters for tax. Chapter 12, chapter 13, chapter 14 are on tax calculation. So, in chapter number 12, we have got something called tax rates. I have one real bad news for you, that every question of this chapter number 12 we will have to solve twice. Every question twice. No, sir, your reaction is like, sir ko maja aata hai time pass. No, don't give me those reactions. I'll tell you the reason. We in our country, since the last 5 years, one crazy lady, guys, she is like, I will give you 2 tax rates, old tax rates and new tax rates. I told you about the deductions, life insurance, medical insurance. See, if I take the deduction, will my income get reduced? Pay on that reduced amount as per the old rates which were high. Option 1. Option 2, don't take these deductions. Forgo these deductions. Will your income be higher? On that higher income, pay tax as per the new rates which are lower. So 2 tax liabilities. Tax as per old and tax as per new. And between them you have an option. So you can pay old wala tax or you don't have to pay both. You can pay any one of them. If you want to guess that between old wala tax and new tax, which one we should pay? If we have an option between 2 tax liabilities, which one we should pay? Obviously, whichever is higher, no? CAs are partners in nation building. Obviously, lower, no? If we have an option, we'll pay the lower amount. But for that, we need to know both calculations. And I have to teach you both calculations. So every question has to be solved as per old and as per new. That's tax rates. The tax that you have calculated, from that you will get some relief, means a reduction in your tax liability. So you have to learn how to reduce that tax. And then there is a concept called alternate minimum tax. At a very small level, it is applicable in detail. It comes in CA final, but still a part of tax calculation. So we have 3 chapters only for tax calculation, 9 chapters for income calculation, 3 chapters for tax calculation. Out of our first 14 chapters, 12 chapters are only calculation of income and tax. And of course, the first 2, as I told you, basic concepts and residential status. So, to be clear, chapter 1 में what are we learning? Basic concepts में person PY. Chapter 2 में अभी chapter 2 no, from here after whenever I refer to it, I'll talk about Rohit Sharma Phil Salt. Will you be comfortable? Indian earning outside India, foreigner earning in India. So yes, we have to learn residential status, scope of income. Now come to this. Chapter number 3 to 9 is calculation of, 3 to 11 is calculation of net taxable total income. Abhi 9 chapters hai. So I am actually telling you a little about all these chapters. First of all, our income will be divided into 2 categories. Those incomes on which our government wants tax and those incomes on which our government does not want tax. They are known as non-taxable. Please avoid, use the correct term. Kya? Exempt income. So that's my chapter number 3. Incomes not forming a part of taxable income. Or simple language mein, incomes which are exempt, and you already have an example of that as well. Kya? Agriculture. So yes, the incomes which we have to remove. If we remove that, are we left with the incomes that we have to take? The incomes which we have to take are divided in 5 types, 5 categories. Wait, you will not say types, categories, you will not write these words anywhere. Just like for exempt income, from day 1, we are not using the wrong term. We are not calling it non-taxable, we are calling it exempt. These are known as the 5 heads of income. Heads of income basically means a classification of your taxable income into 5 categories. They have said that whichever income you earn will be classified into one of these 5. For your understanding, you can call it category or a type, but the legal term is 5 heads of income. The incomes that you will earn will be classified, divided into one of these 5 heads. I'll tell you the name. In any case, these are 5 chapters, if you understand. So we have first head of income, but chapter number may it becomes 4. I hope you understand. Okay, we have got something called income from salary. See, when your student life gets over and your work life begins, the 2 main options available to you are you go and work for someone or people come and work under you. When you go and work for someone, you'll get your fixed monthly amount, that is salary. And when other people work under you, you may or may not make money. First of all, running a business can result into profits or losses. Obviously, income tax will come only and only if there are profits, for which we have a chapter, very famous short form. Ask any student who has studied tax, they call it like this only: profits and gains of business or profession, PGBP. Business. So either salary or business, 2 main sources of income, but business is the 3rd head of income. Please wait. In between, we have our second head of income, income from, I will explain, house property. Income from house property, again a very popular short form, you are allowed to use in exam also, IFHP. So PGBP and IFHP. Arey bro, look, why is your attention span so small? And in comparison with the AC, I am definitely much more handsome if you compare. Why? Focus here, please understand. Primary 2 main ways or sources of earning income: salary or business. Hello, salary or business, correct hai? But we live in a country called India. And in our country, rental incomes from properties is a big source of income. Normally, if I am earning rent on any property, the idea is that I have taken the property for investment purposes. I am not involved in it day to day like I am involved in salary or business. See, salary may I have to go and work daily. Business may I have to be involved daily. But property rental simply means I purchase and give it to the tenant. Then I am not involved on a day to day basis. No, correct or no? But in India, think about it. Randomly walk into, this is what Mumbai 4 no. Randomly enter any building, any floor, any residential house, any commercial office. What is the probability that it is being owned by the person who is using, or it is taken on rent? Think about it. Think about it. What a big source of income it is. In India, there is concentration. I am explaining the logic of having this head separately. Otherwise, I have a very simple choice. ये head of income है, तेरा काम कर. But why? Why? Concentration of wealth in the hands of few people. When one person has enough money to buy 10 houses, another person does not have money maybe even to buy one house. So that person who does not have money to buy even one house, what should that person do? Sleep on footpath? No, don't forget, this is Mumbai and we have Salman Khan also. You can't sleep on a footpath here in Mumbai, na bro. You can't sleep on footpath. You will take the property from that person who has 10 houses because he can't stay in 10 houses at one time. My entire childhood, since birth, Mumbai 3, Mumbai 4, this area, entire childhood, my schooling, my college, everything has happened here. Coming back here is, basically nostalgia. Entire childhood has gone here. So when I first time moved to another area, I was not sure whether I will be comfortable in that area. I might want to come back, and believe me, I want to come back. But unfortunately, this area does not have the facility of any such society which has got all the facilities where apna childhood to gone bro, playing gully cricket. But I don't want to give the same life to my son, and that is the reason I won't come back. Agar if there is any such society, I don't mind coming back also. I badly miss this area. So when I moved over there first time, I went in a rented house to see if I am comfortable. Once I am comfortable, once we were comfortable, we sold our house here and we have purchased a house over there. But starting maybe went on rent. So that landlord of mine, that building is one of the luxurious buildings of that area. So he has given one house on rent to me. In the neighboring building, again a luxurious building, he himself stays with his family. So I had gone to give him the rent amount. One luxury property he has given me on rent. Another luxury wala property is himself living on rent. In that property in which he is living, I had gone to only give him my rent amount. Then courtesy, we are Marwadis, so courtesy mein ke chal chai vai, etc. He gave me cup of tea. He's like, you have time? I said, all the time in the world. Bolo kya? You are giving me one of your properties, uncle? Bola, nahi. He took me to a house next to his. He's like, how's the house? Bola, nice building, nice house, everything. Why? He's like, you know what? There is a problem. I have got 2 grandsons. Both are grown up, both go to college. My wife and myself, we have spent our entire life in middle class, poverty. Now we have earned money, but we prefer that same life. So we sleep in the hall only. One of the bedrooms my son and daughter-in-law use. And the second bedroom, these 2 grandsons are always fighting. Mera bedroom, mera bedroom. I got sick and tired of their fights. I just purchased this house. My reaction was, wow bro, zindagi ho to aisi ho. Seriously bro. Because he had money. And then, that was a new relation with the gentleman, recently shifted to his house. With time, I realized that in that entire belt of Lal Bagh Parel, pick up randomly any hi-fi society, luxurious society. Every building he has a house which he has given on them in a range of minimum 1 lakh to 1 lakh 50,000 per month. He is earning more than 10 lakh per month only in rent. He is earning and he is still having a very humble lifestyle. Despite that, does not have a bedroom for himself. So every 2 years, he has enough money to buy one more property. Almost 1.5 crore in rent per year without any expenditure because he's not using it for himself. He is creating properties. And this is a very, very big source of income in our country. This is as big as your salary and your business. We can normally, our investment incomes can be classified into some etc. head, some sundry head, where we can put our dividend, interest, everything. Rent is also investment only. But in India, rent is not just investment. It is a very, very big source of income. And therefore, it has to be classified as a separate head of income. Income from house property. So, do you realize these three become my recurring profit? Salary is my recurring income. Rent is my recurring income. And business is a regular activity. These are my normal day-to-day running incomes. But sometimes will I be also having something called abnormal non-recurring profits? Supposingly, the properties that the gentleman had purchased here, one of them he is selling. Possible hai? Do you understand the profit on sale of that asset is also an income? But that can't be classified under your salary or business or house property. And for this, we have a separate head of income called capital gains, the fourth head of income. Incomes are divided into 5 heads. The first three are recurring ones. This is abnormal. And obviously, this profit cannot be, this is abnormal profit. We can't write it in any other head. We have to have a separate head for this. Capital gains. And at the end of these 4 heads, if I now ask you, that are all possible incomes over? Nine. So many other incomes which are not going to be covered anywhere. And for this, we have our 5th and last head of income. Income from other sources. 5th chapter, that way you can say. IFOS, very popular term. Or you can also call it ETC. General category, sundry category. You know what is income from other sources in one line? Anything which does not go anywhere else will come. That is IFOS. Because we can't keep on making head after head for every individual income. We can't have separate head for dividend, separate for interest. Anything that will not go in the first 4 heads will come here. So now your dividend income, your interest income, any of your non-regular incomes, which is not even abnormal that it has to be kept separately, will come here. Actually, rent should have come here. But the volume in which it is happening in our country, they decided to keep it as a separate head of income. So these are, ladies and gentlemen, your 5 heads of income. Agar now I show you, dekho. First, exempt income, chapter number 3. And then salary, house property, PGBP, capital gain, other sources, 5 heads of income. So in NTTI, we have completed 6 chapters, exempt and 5 heads. But NTTI totally contains 9 chapters. So even at the end of 5 heads, NTTI is not over. Hello. We still have 3 more chapters only to learn calculation of. Come on, NTTI. So we have removed exempt income. Then we took our 5 heads of income. This is the total of the 5 heads of income. This is not NTTI. Bro, this is not even GTI, gross total income. I'll talk about it. क्या हुआ? हाँ.
Profits and gain the interest like P&L account देखे तो उसमें dividend जो सब आते हैं.
Very good. Good question. See, think about it. I am making a profit and loss account for my business. I will write my sales here. I will write my COGS here. Of course, I am writing other expenses also, effectively making this my net profit. Is this profit of my business? So this should be a part of PGBP. Now, while making our final accounts, we write dividend here. That's your question, bro. Dividend छोड़, मैं तो agriculture भी लिखता हूँ. Final accounts में तो I will write only, no. Now, tell me one thing. This dividend का effect, this agriculture का effect, has it come in the profit का figure? Yes, we will have to remove them. Agriculture remove, sun, and don't put it anywhere else because it is exempt. Dividend remove from here and put under IFOS. That is what we have to learn in the chapters now. If by chance in my final accounts I have classified an income incorrectly, तो correction करने का responsibilities of the chartered accountant. Accountant is going to make this mistake, which is why you are going to get paid, not to correct his mistakes. समझा? So will people write it in PGBP? What do we have to do? Remove from PGBP and put under IFOS. We get paid for that rectification, bro. समझा? चलो. So 6 chapters done. Hello. NTTI done. GTI done. Gross total income. No, bro. Gross also not done. तो अभी क्या? Okay. Chapter number 9. 9 overall. In NTTI, this is the 7th chapter. We have a chapter called clubbing. OCA students, listen. Expectation versus reality. Sun lo. Before you get excited, I know it is a Saturday, but it is still a Saturday afternoon. Not even afternoon, it is still morning. And had it been the second class of the day, which is going to be immediately after you, I will be going over there. So it may probably be Subha hone na de. This is not that clubbing that you are thinking about. No, bad luck. Okay, we'll tell the management to someday keep an evening class for us as well. I have got no role to play, bro. I get paid for taking lectures at whatever time you tell me to take lectures. As long as you are paying me, I will take it. कोई problem नहीं. Sometimes people ask, sir, how can you get up at 4:30 only to take a class? Just see if someone pays you for that. See the motivation. And I am a Marwadi by the way. Huh? So this, ladies and gentlemen, is not that clubbing. Sorry to ruin your hopes. This is clubbing of income. Sir, what exactly do you mean by this? I will give you one example only. See, I am not teaching you the chapters right now. No? I am only telling you what is there in the chapters. Minors, please, straight up. Huh? Minors, straight up. Quite a few, bro. अच्छा हाँ, inter का class है ना. But keep your hands up. Huh? I believe that in the next few months, first year BCom is that in which we turn 18. So it's a matter of few months. Okay. So no. Income tax law believes that minor, pagal, no brain, no akal. I am not saying that. Income tax law believes that minors don't have brains. And because they don't have brains, they can't have incomes. Income tax law believes that if a minor has earned income, it is not actually income of the minor, it is the brains of the parent that has resulted in that income. And therefore, if a minor child earns any income in our country, listen to this carefully, the income will be added, clubbed in the income of the parent. So as a parent of a minor child, if my son earns any income today, his income will be added in my net taxable total income. Because minors don't have brains of earning income. Of course, it's a big chapter. This is only an example. First of all, there are other cases of clubbing also. Minor is only an example. Secondly, in this also there is an exception. For example, short mein bolunga that supposedly a minor has earned income through special skills, you know, like acting, singing, dancing, sports. Suryavanshi, Vaibhav Suryavanshi. You thought which Suryavanshi? Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Surname आपका? तो Vaibhav Suryavanshi, minor child है ना? 14 years, no? 14 minor होता है ना, bro? 18, below 18, no? His income normally would have been added in his parent ka income, but is he earning through special skill? Then it won't be added. Clubbing will apply in your normal income. For your special skill incomes, no clubbing will apply. All that we will do in the chapter clubbing. Clubbing simply means you have to pay tax on someone else's income. For example, parent has to pay tax on minor child income. Tell me one thing. If you have a minor child earning income, whose income is going to be clubbed, will that change your NTTI ka figure? So we can't complete NTTI without learning clubbing ka chapter. It's a part of NTTI. Where in my income, I have to add income of other persons. So after completing our heads of income, we will go and learn our chapter called clubbing. We are still not done. Forget about NTTI, GTI also not done. Next chapter, chapter number 10. We have a chapter called set off and carry forward of losses. Abhi ye kya hai? Can I have business income? Simple question I am asking. Can I have business income? Can I have two businesses? Can I have two businesses? Is it possible one of my business has earned profit of 5 lakh during the year? Is it possible my second business has suffered a loss of 1 lakh during the year? Possible hai na? One business profit, another business loss. So this chapter says pay tax on 4 lakh. Adjust your loss against your profit, pay tax on the net amount. This adjustment is called set off. So this chapter will teach us which loss you are allowed to set off, which loss, there are some losses which you are not allowed to set off. There is something called carry forward. Supposingly I don't have the second business, I have only one business. Kya ye possible hai? I am doing only one business and it is a loss making business. I am still doing it hoping that next year I will have profits. Supposingly I continue the business in the next year. Next year in this business I have profit of 5 lakh. One business only. So my current year profit is 5 lakh. Adjust the brought forward loss of 1 lakh. Current year carry forward. So second year it will become brought forward. This chapter will teach us all the rules of adjustment of losses. Set off, carry forward, how many years you are allowed to adjust where, not allowed to adjust where. Everything will be taught in the chapter set off and carry forward of losses. Yeah. Does this have material impact on NTTI? Think about it. Abhi, if I am allowed to adjust loss, so it will reduce my NTTI. Otherwise, it won't. This total, Mitro, will be called your gross total income. We still have not reached where we wanted to. Bro, 40 lectures, 9 chapters. We are done only with 8. Exempt income, 5 heads, clubbing and set off. Last, I told you about this some time back. This is our chapter number 11, deductions. That chapter in income tax is known as chapter 6A. What is the chapter known as? Chapter 6A. The chapter in which we get our life insurance, medical insurance, tax benefits. Na? Income tax it is known as chapter 6A. Deductions under chapter 6A. So take those deductions. Now, with whatever I told you in today's lecture only, the deductions will be allowed only if you are following old regime, old rates of tax. Make sense? So we will have to do 2 tax calculations. This is the income without taking deductions. Come on this apply new rates, or this will be your income after taking deduction. On this you apply the old rates and pay whichever is beneficial. But we'll have to learn all the chapters. After your deductions, finally, ladies and gentlemen, you have your net taxable total income. 9 chapters. 9 chapters only for NTTI. Syllabus over. Harsh. Nash. Now income over. Now what? Now what? Go and learn tax calculation. So chapter number 12, as I already told you, will give us tax rates, both old rates as well as new rates. Chapter number 13, the tax so calculated. From that we will be giving you some reduction. So we call it relief. Any reduction of tax liability is like a relief only. No, you have to pay that much less. And as I told you, that chapter AMT, alternate minimum tax, rough level pay, it is applicable at Inter. We'll do it when the time comes. But these 3 chapters are chapters of tax calculation. So at the end of the 14th chapter, 1 second, come to this main statement for which we are here. At the end of the 14th chapter is everything over. Person PYAY, first chapter. Residential status, the 2 foreign wala situations, Rohit Sharma fills out. Second chapter. Thereafter 9 chapters of income, 3 chapters of tax. 14 chapters means this over. Everyone, fantastic. Now the last question that the students ask, sir, ये 14 chapters में charging section का data is over now. Then what do you have these 4 chapters for? We still have 4 chapters because chapters are only 18, as I told you in the last class. The rest is the second book, not the first book. Chapters are only 18. What do we have? 4 more chapters. अभी question ये है, sir, now what are these 4 chapters if income and tax are done? I will first talk about chapter number 18. In fact, while teaching you in class also, after our tax calculation is over, after 14 we will directly jump to ignore karo. This basically, the book that is given to you is a temporary trial book for the pre-result lectures, the early bird lectures which are being conducted. This just has 2 chapters of all the subjects. What do you think? This one book is CA inter syllabus. यहाँ hopes में जी रहे हो. 2 chapters of every subject, है ना? So chapter number 18. In this book there is no such index. In fact, in my index also, as I told you in the last class, page numbers have not been entered because we are doing the formatting change of the book. So page numbers obviously will change. So once it is ready, it will be given to you. I don't need any book in class. I am surprised that none of you all know any of my past students. I have taught 50,000 students, but you've never interacted maybe. You've not been among smart people maybe. No? If you know them, they will tell you, I will use any book only while doing questions. I don't need any book for the first 5 lectures. Because, 1 minute. What question are we going to solve now? On what? What have you learned? कि question करोगे क्या? हाँ, तो exactly after 5 lectures, when we are done with a little on residential status, we will actually sit and solve questions on that. अभी नहीं चाहिए. We don't need anything right now. Okay. After 14, I'll go directly to 18. Sir, income is done. Tax is done. You taxpayers have to do something called return filing. Class maybe after 14, I'll go directly to 18. Sir, what is this return filing? Sir, what is this thing called income tax return? See, you are earning income. Are you aware of your own income? Arey bol na. Wake up. Are you aware of your own income? When there is an officer sitting in the department, we call him the assessing officer. See why assessing officer? We are doing assessment on you. Assessment is calculation. In the assessment year. So the taxpayer will be called assessee and the officer will be called assessing officer. Everything is related with that word, assessment. The assessing officer sitting in the department has got no idea about your total income. He has got no idea about your tax liability. Bro, he does not have supernatural powers. What do you think the assessing officer? Is he Nirmal Baba, Radhe Ma, Asaram Bapu, Bobby Deol? Assessing officer does not have any supernatural powers, no. You will have to communicate your total income to him. How will you communicate your total income to him? WhatsApp. Hey bro, long time. This is my income, bro. Tax it no. Don't levy too much tax, no chill, no, bro. Aisa? If the blue tick comes, that means he has received your communication. No. In case you were thinking कि ऐसा होता है, no, it is not like that. You have to go to the income tax website, fill up a form in which you will submit your particulars. You will declare, this is my salary, this is my house property, this is my business, this is my dividend income, this is my interest income. Submit that. And that submission of form, that submission of calculation is called filing of income tax return filing. So this chapter will teach us who has to file return of income, who does not have to file, what are the due dates. If I miss the due date, can I file belated return? If I make a mistake, can I revise my return? All that will be taught to us in the chapter. So do you understand? I am submitting the calculation. For that, I am completing the calculation. Complete your income calculation, complete your tax calculation, and then submit your calculation. Ye correct hai? Fantastic. And what are the 3 in between chapters? We have chapter 15, 16 and 17 which are recovery of taxes. So we have a chapter called advance tax and interest. We have a chapter called TDS, tax deducted at source. We have a chapter called TCS, tax collected at source. Too much of data is not required. Simple language, I'll tell you. Supposingly, your income is calculated, your tax is calculated, and your tax liability comes to rupees 5 lakh. Possible example, 5 lakh. So what is your reaction to the assessing officer? Okay, sir, done. My tax is how much? 5 lakh. Done, sir. Arre, done nahi, pay kar. What do you mean by done? High five. Done. Do you understand that you will have to pay your taxes, not just calculate? And if you don't pay your taxes, how are we going to recover those taxes from you? We will take from you some taxes in advance called advance tax. There will be people who are paying you and they will deduct some tax at source. And in case you violate these provisions, you don't pay your advance tax on time, you will be liable for some interest, some fees, etc. So the tax that you have calculated, you have to do two things. One, communicate, that is return filing, and pay. If you don't pay, we will recover. For that, we have 3 chapters. So these 4 chapters are related to collection, recovery of taxes. And this total is your CA intermediate ka direct tax ka syllabus. Only 50% of the actual income tax law, because when you come to CA final, you have to learn income tax of charitable trust, income tax of political parties, income tax of all those organizations which are not covered in your CA intermediate ka syllabus. Very basic knowledge of taxation is required. But yes, as I told you in the last class, all these chapters are also a part of CA final syllabus. From day 1, come for that. Otherwise, you won't find any fun in the class. Ye clear hai? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to learn this statement. Once we do this statement, we can say that we are done with kya bro? Full syllabus. Ye clear hai? So this is one statement that I will make you repeat again and again and again. Okay? And you have to be participative. ऐसा नहीं कि सर ये next person sitting next to me is speaking तो मैं नहीं बोलेगा. It does not work like that. So in my class you have to follow my instructions. India is a democracy outside the classroom. Either it is dictatorship. If you are not clear, I am the dictator. So ladies and I will participate with you. What is the statement that is going to govern our entire syllabus? Charging section 4 says what? 1, 2, 3, go. Kya? Income tax is payable by on the अरे एक और लाइन है क्या? Now, in order to complete our first chapter, all we have to do is one by one complete 3 definitions. If 3 definitions are done, our first chapter will get done. First definition, section 2. Now, did I tell you definitions will be done as and when required? As we proceed in our syllabus, wherever required, we will be learning a definition. Section 231 has given us definition of person. Section 231 has given us definition of person. Listen, this is section 2 clause 30. Whenever we write any section and we write any number in bracket, what you have studied maybe is a term called subsection. So you should know the difference between clause and subsection. Please listen. Okay. Supposingly I am doing with you a section 139 of income tax. So there is 139.1, there is 139.3, there is 139.4, there is 139.5. Section 139.1 says file return of income. If you have losses, still file return. If you have missed your due date, file something called a belated return. If you have made a mistake, file something called a revised return. Are all these related to filing of return? So we call them subsections. When all the subparts of a section are interrelated, they will be called subsection. Now think about section 2. We may be having 214, we have 247, we have 231. It's a list. What is section 2? What is section 2? Definitions. They are not interrelated. Section 214 has got nothing to do with 31 or 47. When they are independent of each other, we will not call them subsections. We will at that time call them clauses. And this will happen in two sections. One is section 2, and section 10 of Income Tax Act has given us a list of incomes which are exempt income. Chapter 3 and a list of income. So for example, we have 10.1, agriculture income is exempt. In 10.2 we have something else. In 10.2a we have something else. They don't have any connection between each other. They are independent. Therefore we call them clauses. When all parts of a section are related to each other, they will be called subsections. When they are unrelated, independent of each other, they will be called clauses. Now think about it this way. You know in what direction I prefer to take my class. This is an example. Income tax ka paper is not an oral exam. No, you have to give a written exam. In exam you will be writing 231. Ye barabar hai? Now in your mind you are thinking clause 31, or in your mind you are thinking subsection 31. On paper you are writing this. Come on. So the paper checker or anybody else will never know that the concept in your mind is correct or wrong. That whether you know the difference between clause and subsection. Because written exam mein to you'll write the number 31. But I don't want that culture in my classroom as long as you are my student. After my batch gets over, when you are interacting with people outside the classroom, you should find mistakes in what other people are saying, even if they have a higher degree. If you ever work in a CA firm and then you find out that section 2 mein clause hota hai, it is not subsection. Same is the case of section 10. So I don't want you to be the person who is wrong ever in exam after exam. And therefore, we will be also focusing on making these kind of concepts clear over the class that we will be conducting. Section 2 mein person ka definition is subsection nahi. Yeah. Clause 31. Income tax is payable by every person. That means whoever comes in this list is basically, you can say, an assessee who is liable to pay tax. Because you are the assessee liable to pay tax, on you we will do the assessment in the assessment year by the assessing officer. If your name comes in this list, you have to pay tax. So who are the persons liable to pay tax in our country? I will be telling you one by one. See, we started by saying every person. When I said every person, you thought all of us. Bro, all of us are only the first point. Please understand. All of us are only the first point of the list. There are many more who are liable to pay tax. So every point that we will do here is on an assumption that you have earned income. For example, you and me both will be covered in the first one. That means, am I a person liable to pay tax? Are you a person liable to pay tax? We will be covered in the first one. Are both of us liable to pay tax? But there is one thing common between you and me. Both of us don't have income. So there is no question of tax. So we will do the list assuming there is income, because without income, question of tax does not arise. Hello. So let us assume there is income, and if there is income, who has to pay tax? If there is income, so who has to pay tax? Are you understanding this? Okay. First, we are only the first point in the definition of person and individual. Individual has to pay tax. And can you believe this? Our income tax law has actually given us definition of individual. They have defined individual. Income tax law says individual means a natural person. Individual means natural person. Wow. Born out of a natural process. Lol. Reproduction in animals is also natural. Reproduction in plants, photosynthesis. School गए, ये भगवान कोविड बैच. Photosynthesis, sunlight, water is also a natural process. There is nothing unnatural about it. And to keep it simple, they further say that is a human being. Natural person, human being. Don't interchange these words, otherwise it will be a murderer killing humans. Too deep, bro. IYK. No? Wait back after class, I will explain. Natural person, that is human being. Natural person, that is human being. If we, by the way, let us discuss some examples of human beings also. Confusion nahi chahiye. Okay? Arey haan. You and me, for example, all the students of the class, human beings, natural persons, you have to pay tax, assuming, see, having income is a primary condition, assuming you have income. What about the professor? I am a married man. I get inhuman treatment at home. I am not treated as a human being. And don't laugh at me. You wait for your articleship to start. Then we will discuss who is the bigger kutta, you or me. I have that permanent kutta wala tag. You will have that temporary 2, and you are lucky you have 2 years. I had 3.5 years articleship. I belong to that course. 3.5 years. Those who have chartered accountants at home will be probably aware of this. 3.5 years hota tha. It then reduced to 3, and now to ridiculously down to 2 years. So you may not get human treatment, but in the eyes of income tax, we all will be considered as humans. Wait. SRT, Sachin Tendulkar, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, Sachin Tendulkar. Human being? A god, no? No. In the eyes of income tax, he is going to be individual liable to pay tax. AB. Amitabh Bachchan. I can't take Abhishek ka example because income is also required. Amitabh Bachchan. हाँ बोलो. अरे individual or not? हाँ. Rajnikant. For those not aware, unless you have South Indian background, you may not be aware. In Tamil Nadu, if a Rajnikant movie releases, they have to shut down the state for a week. It is chaotic. And there is a similar superstar in Malayalam movies, Mohanlal, who was the one who made that movie Drishyam. Ajay Devgan is only a cheaper copy. Mr. Mohanlal is a superstar of Malayalam cinema. Just like Rajnikant sir is the superstar in Tamil cinema. You may be superstar in your respective region. In income tax, you are individual human being liable to pay tax. Simple. Over. Rajnikant sir had done a movie, Robot. Any idea about it? Robot, then Robot 1, Robot 2.0. He, for those not aware, he made a robot called Chitti. Chitti, the robot, who looked like a human being, eyes, nose, ears. Will he be covered here? And for those not aware of the storyline in detail, I will remind you, if you have seen the movie, by the end of the movie, the scientist had incorporated human feelings in the robot. So he used to feel love, anger, etc. All characteristics of a human being. Will he be covered here if Chitti earns income? No. Why? Chitti, the robot, will not be covered here because it is a machine. It is not a human being. Individuals, human beings, see, next 3-4 years you will be expected to work as machines. But in the, I am giving you advance warning. Then don't say that no one wants us. But it's a small phase of your professional career, and that struggle comes irrespective of what career you choose. In commerce, you can't have a better life than this. We'll talk about it some other day. We'll keep a separate lecture maybe. Enough, I have already told you in the first class. While you are working as a robot, you are still a natural person. You will be covered in point 1. But the robot, though shows characteristic of a human being, will not be covered in point number 1. All individuals, all human beings, if you have income, you will be covered in the definition of person. So when we said every person, you thought all of us. Do you realize all of us are over in the first point itself? Correct? Eh? So who else? Why is the definition of person so big? Who else is liable to pay tax? Second, HUF, that is a Hindu undivided family. You know little and you don't know little. My target is to talk about things that you're not aware of. See, I know that you all have given your 12th standard exams recently. I know that first time in your life you studied HUF in your 12th syllabus. Those who are non-maths students had a special subject where you were taught in detail, and those who had taken maths also had a subject. You still have that subject, OC organization of. So OC mein you must have been taught HUF for the first time. What exactly is this HUF? In India, there is a law called Hindu Succession Act, also famously known as the Mitakshara law. I don't know 12th ke syllabus mein you were taught which term. Hindu Succession Act you were taught or Mitakshara law you were taught? Okay, we were taught both, but we have forgotten both. Mitakshara law was taught to you, in the sense the name of the law, right? Hindu Succession Act. As per the Hindu Succession Act, 4 generations of a Hindu male, 4 generations of a Hindu family have got right over family assets. For example, if Mr. X, a Hindu male, has got any asset, and that asset is obviously generating income, who is going to get share from this? Mr. X, obviously. Mr. X will have some children. X1, X2, X3. Are Mr. X ka children to X1, X2, X3, no? They will get share from this property. Mr. X will have grandchildren. So you can say 2x1, 2x2, 2x3, 3x1, 4x3. These are grandchildren. 3rd generation, no bro, you can have as many as you want. Okay. And then there will be the 4th generation great grandchildren. Every person born in this family till 4 generations will have right over the family assets and automatically the income. In a Hindu family, your right comes by birth. We'll explain a lot now. You know, a lot of things in law will explain to you the things that are happening outside this classroom around you. In real life, in your families, if you observe a couple of generations before, we are Marwadis. Couple of generations before us, one person had 10 children. Brother also had 10 children. I wonder what they wrote in hobbies in the resume. We in our Marwadi family, those days there was no Netflix also. And supposingly one brother, supposingly 2 brothers, one has got 2 children, second has got only 1. So the first guy will get share of 2 children because the moment you get birth, you get equal share. But the second will get only 1 share because has only 1 child. Now guess how this second brother increases his share in the family wealth. Very smart. This was one of the big reasons why they had so many children. Bro, in the evening after coming home from work, they used to count and find that one is missing. I am not joking. I am not joking. Seriously, I am telling you. Every person born in the family will get some share of the income. 4 generations. You know, the things that you have studied in class 12, unlimited liability, there will be karta, these people will be known as co-partners. I don't want to consume your time in discussing the things that you are already aware. Let us talk about things that you don't know. Now you know why traditional families had more and more children. Because every new child will increase your share. in the family assets, in the family income. So simply put, every person in this chart, will that person get equal share of the income? So supposingly this asset is earning income, so some income will go to all of them, including the fourth generation. Just imagine if we have to go and collect tax from every individual member, how difficult it is going to be for the assessing officers. Think about it. Family will have 50 members, 4 generations we are counting. How difficult it is to collect tax on one income from 50 people. Idea. Let us make the family a person liable to pay tax. Think about it. So the moment this income arises, to whom? The HUF. Immediately we will take tax directly from the HUF by putting HUF in the definition of, HUF is the definition of persons. So HUF, the moment it earns income, will have to, come on, pay tax. Is tax now paid on this income? After paying tax, whatever is remaining, bro, your income is not yours. Your income is yours only after you have removed set aside the amount for payment of taxes. After paying taxes, the remaining amount is with the HUF. You can distribute it amongst the members, equal share. And ladies and gentlemen, the members don't have to pay tax. Listen to this carefully. You know one exempt income? Which one? Now I am telling you the second exempt income without actually starting exempt income. Share of profit received by a member from HUF. I repeat, share of profit received by a member from HUF is exempt. And guess the logic, guess the reason. When HUF earned it, at that very moment, at that time, the HUF has paid tax. And because the HUF has paid tax, members do not have to pay tax again. Second exempt income, even before starting the exempt income. You understood the objective, the logic of making HUF a taxpayer separate. Why? Instead of running behind 50 people for tax collection, we can collect tax on that entire income from one person. Which person? Which person? HUF. And after paying tax, you can very well distribute it amongst the members. Understood?
How is it accepted? Because you are already paying tax.
For a member who is separately earning it, you don't have to again add it to your income. You understood? Because, and what is the logic? Because at one source, it has already been taxed. You know, HUF may happens like this, partnership may happens like this, but companies may does not happen like this. When company earns profits, it will pay tax. That profit will be distributed to the shareholders. Shareholder again have to pay tax on dividend. Why? Because this answer is hidden in your 12th standard syllabus. That company and shareholders are separate legal entity. So we will not say that your income is same. Company has paid, still you pay. But in HUF and partnership, they are jointly liable for each other, and therefore at one level if tax is levied, other level there won't be any tax. Understood? So Hindu Succession Act, 4 generations of a Hindu family have got right over the family assets and income. The moment family earns income, we will take tax. So at the time of distribution to the members, we won't be taking tax again. By the way, now that we have discussed this much, as I told you, my objective is to tell you things that you are not aware of. Hindu Succession Act in our country is followed by followers of Hinduism and also followers of Buddhism, Sikhism and Jainism. So Buddhists, Sikh community, matlab apna Sardar Ji Harbhajan Singh, Sikhism and Jainism, they all follow Hindu Succession Act. By the way, they are separate religions. They are separate religions. Jain, Hindu is not same. They are different. A lot of beliefs maybe are same. But people belonging to all these 4 religions can actually create HUF and divide the family income equally amongst members. But there is nothing called Parsi undivided family, because Parsis do not follow Hindu Succession Act. There is nothing called Christian undivided family. There is nothing called Muslim undivided family, because their succession laws are different. The rules of marriage, divorce, children in our country Surprisingly, the law is religion based. In one religion, you are allowed to have only one spouse, but another religion permits you to have four spouses. The rules are on the basis of religion. Often we come across activists who say that we should bring something called uniform civil code in our country. Uniform civil code means people belonging to any religion, irrespective, will have common rules for number of marriages, divorces, children. Anybody having more than 2 children will be prohibited from any kind of government benefit. But unless and until introduced, there are separate religion-based succession laws, and Hindu Succession Act is followed only by Hindu, Jain, Sikh, and Buddhist. And therefore, Hindu undivided family you will find only in these four communities. There won't be any Hindu undivided, there won't be anything called Muslim undivided family or Christian undivided family or Parsi undivided family. It is not allowed as per law. Is that understood? Next question is, sir, how does HUF open? See, again, my target is to tell you things that you are not aware of. Sir, if I want to open HUF, how can I do that? Simple question. You don't think like this, sir, today I will go home and open HUF. Because for opening HUF, once upon a time, there was a law that you need to have a male child. 2005, maybe a little before that, the rule was changed to male child or female child, any child. And the latest law is, it is not necessary to have children. The day you get married, you can say that I am starting my family if you are a Hindu, Jain, Sikh or Buddhist. You have to simply make one affidavit. Affidavit, stamp paper. On a stamp paper, you have to make an affidavit that I, a male who is a follower of Hindu Succession Act, I am married on this particular date. You have to enter the date. And on this date, I have started my Hindu undivided family. Following are the members. 1. You write your own name, bracket mein write karta. 2. Wife ka name, bracket mein write spouse. And get it notarized, get the court ka stamp. Submit that affidavit to the income tax department. And the income tax department will allot something called a PAN card in the name of your HUF. I, Siddharth Surana, I am a separate entity for tax purposes. I pay tax on the income that comes in my account. And Siddharth Surana HUF is a separate entity. In my name, fees is being paid by coaching classes, etc. So, HUF is the organization which is actually running the sale of video lectures, sale of books. The coaching classes is being run by HUF. Separate entity. And on the PAN card of my HUF, we have written date of incorporation. On which date? See, my PAN card, it is my date of birth. But HUF ka PAN card, the date of incorporation is my wedding date. Wedding date only. You can create HUF later also. But I am aware of some tax benefits for opening HUF. I was always aware of, but it was not possible to open before 2014. Because for opening HUF and taking the tax benefits, you have to get married. So the day I got married, same day I opened HUF. See, don't get married only for opening HUF. Because for saving tax, you should not be taking such a big risk. But I was already married. We are Marwadis, no? Our parents have childhood hobby. Resume they write bachche ka shaadi. Life of a Marwadi parent: birth, bachche ka shaadi, death. All they want in life is get married. I want to settle in life, baad mein. Everything later. First thing that you do is child marriage kara diya bro. The child marriage only, no, 26 ke age mein shaadi, to child marriage hua. I wanted to settle, but no, settle later. Now, I already took the risk, not voluntarily but forcefully. Risk ho gaya. So now I thought that the risk is already taken. Better open HUF and take some tax benefit also. Same day I created affidavit. Same day. So you have to get married to take that benefit, and you have to be a follower of Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, Buddhism. We are followers of Jainism. So if you ever come and tell anybody who is follower of Jainism कि Jain Hindu same, no, fight हो जाएगा. They'll fight. No, because it is a separate religion. Jainism, Hinduism is not same. So if someone will tell me you are Hindu, Jain, same, बोला no, separate है. But you want to open HUF? Of course. Religion is separate, but I have opened HUF the day I got married. You will also, across your family, you will see HUF that have been created for tax benefit purposes. More about it, we'll talk about, tax benefit kya hai, that you can't come to know unless I go more into the details of the law. So she has to take exit from this HUF and join husband ka HUF. In fact, son also gets married, no? So son can exit this HUF and start own HUF. So there are people who before marriage are part of their parents ka HUF. After marriage, they are part of their own HUF. Separate family. And family partition pe some assets are given to them. Customs, Indian custom tradition. Okay. So are you clear? The tax part is simple. HUF will earn income, pay tax on that income, and after paying tax, the income will be distributed to the members. Members don't have to pay tax. By come on, HUF has already paid tax. So second point in the definition of person, income tax is payable by every person. In the definition of person, first point is individual. In the definition of person, second point is, we are doing point number 3 of, see what is going to happen throughout our syllabus. There are going to be so many concepts which have multiple points. One point we discuss in detail and then we go to next point. I do point 3 and you are lost in some fantasy world. Sir, kitka point 3? You should not be in that situation. Huh? So if I tell you that I am doing point 3, this is point 3 of definition of person. You understood? Individual, HUF, next. Company. Company. अरे ब्रो, रियल लाइफ में इनकम अर्निंग प्रोसेस में दे आर फार अहेड ऑफ अस. Now whether you talk about Reliance का any company or Tata का any company, you talk about any Adani company, we are talking about limited companies. Are they separate from their chairman, managing director, CEO? So the chairman, managing director earning any income will pay tax in the first category, individual. But as a company, whatever profit you have, you are a separate person. Companies will be of two types. One, an Indian company is a company which is very simple, registered in India. So if your company is registered under Indian Companies Act, you should be aware that right now we have Companies Act 2013, but once upon a time there was Companies Act 1956. So for example, Reliance Industries Limited registered under 1956. With the change in law, the company has not liquidated. They are following the new Companies Act. So you can be registered under old law or new law, but you are registered in India, so you will be considered as Indian company. And if you are registered outside India, so maybe you are registered under the Companies Act of US, UK, France, Germany. If you are registered under Companies Act of any other country, you will be called a foreign company. Indian foreign will depend on place of incorporation, place of registration. Company registered in India, Indian company. Company registered outside India. Is this very simple? But this classification is not important. There is another classification. There is another division. I would have said breakup, but you will go sad unnecessarily to classification. There is another classification which is more important from examination point of view. तेरा व्यू है नहीं हो गया ना, छोड़ ना bro. Make yourself so capable in terms of knowledge, in terms of wealth, in terms of your qualification, that she regrets and regrets. She know she know that she, मैं confirm कर रहा हूँ, वो legal है, allowed है, उसमें क्या है, that she regrets bro. Okay, so breakup नहीं, classification, division चलेगा. Don't be sad. Sad है तो Saturday evening है, we'll sit together and sort it out. Done. There is something called domestic company and there is something called, now people outside this classroom, last time when I asked you who has chartered accountant in family and you said mummy papa, don't do this. But anybody who said other than mummy papa, like brother, sister, friends, cousins, then you can do what I will now tell you. Don't try this stunt in front of your parents. 2 tight slaps you will get. Okay. Unfortunately, people outside this classroom, including qualified chartered accountants, they think Indian and domestic are same. They think Indian company, domestic company same. Foreign company, non-domestic company same. No, sir. Not true. Absolutely not true. Indian and domestic company are not same. They are different. They are different. See, I don't have to tell you difference between Indian and foreign. It is obviously different. Domestic, non-domestic are opposite terms. Obviously, they are different. Indian and domestic are also different. Indian foreign is dependent on place of incorporation, registration, Companies Act. Domestic, non-domestic is not dependent on incorporation. What is domestic company? Because non-domestic must have. I love definitions like this. Any company which is not a domestic company is a non-domestic company. How I wish life was so simple. But unfortunately it is. I think आपके companies में definition में भी public company is a company which is not a private company. सही. But then for that you need to know what is private, no? So likewise you need to know what is a domestic company. Please pay attention. Any Indian company, and this is the reason why people are confused. This is the reason why people think Indian and domestic are same. Because all Indian companies fall in the definition of domestic company. Think about it. Reliance Industries Limited, Tata Capital Limited, Tata Consultancy Services Limited. Are they Indian companies? Registered in India? By default and automatically they are also domestic company. Indian domestic, not same. Why? Because in the definition of domestic there is one more point. Indian company is just the first point. The second point says, if you are a foreign company means a company which is registered outside India, you can also become a domestic company. In other words, all Indian companies are domestic companies, but all domestic companies are not Indian companies, because sometimes a foreign company will also come. This is that thing which I said chartered accountants also don't know. Qualified chartered accountants, unfortunately. But don't, if parents are chartered accountants, please don't play this game ever with me. Anybody other than parents, so I will tell you what games you have to play at appropriate times. How many were those students whose parents are chartered accountants? See, you are out of this game. I am telling you in advance. If I ever make a statement in class that qualified CAs don't know this, it is not applicable to you guys. It is applicable to other people. Okay? But unfortunately, there are some chartered accountants in the country who are not aware of this. Kya sir? A foreign company. Foreign company is registered where? Incorporated where? Outside India. Correct? Hai? Lekin this foreign company makes arrangement for distribution of dividend out of their income in India. Makes arrangement for distribution of dividend out of their income from India. Then for the purpose of our income tax law, the foreign company will be considered as domestic company. Don't give those expressions I am explaining. I am telling you only. Q, I have only written, I am not explained. Abhi karta hu. Listen. Anybody using Apple devices? Apple, iPhones? How many? I want. Please. Why? Why? And I'll tell you what, you'll never have answered that question. Sir, Apple is Apple. Bus. No other reason. Some say, sir, it has got awesome security features. So, kya defense mein kaam karta hai? You have country ka secrets in your phone. And Apple fan is same as a Salman Khan fan. And Apple iPhone is same as Salman Khan movie. No innovation but blind fan follow. Mark the words. No innovation, but blind fan following. Year 2007, when I got All India rank in C, उस time पे आता था, they used to give ranks at the first level also. So CPT में earlier they used to give 30 ranks, then they came to 10 ranks. Then after that they eliminated ranks from first level. Now we have ranks only at inter and final. So when I got All India 19 in CPT at that time, I used to study in this classroom only at that time. So my father gave me Apple का iPhone, and I believe that was 2007 में iPhone just came to India. That I think it was the first 10 iPhones amongst the first 10 iPhones of the country India. I used it and too much of fascination because there was craze behind Apple at that time. No problem. Gradually, about 2-3 years later, I moved to, I think, Samsung, and about 2-3 years after that, I again came back to Apple. After 2, it was 6S, which I used. I'm talking about myself. Believe me, I saw no difference in them. Absolutely no difference. And my brother, his wife, they all use what I think 14 Pro or 15 Pro, or they all don't they look same. Whether 16 comes, you go buy 14 and tell people it is 16. Buy at a lower cost. Is there any difference also? No. But then you can't explain this to hardcore Apple fans because they are crazy. Apple fan, Salman Khan fan, Modi fan, they are all same. You can't argue with them. They are all crazy. You can't discuss anything with them. है ना? तो ऐसा है that out of your love and affection, what's your name? Breakup? अरे मतलब your name? Vansh. इतनी थोड़ी देर पहले ऑनलाइन था. There was another Vansh who was online. अच्छा एक और Vansh. Vansh, you raised your hand, no, when I asked Apple. When I explained Vansh, okay, Vansh, there is nothing great in Apple. So many applications which don't work on it. My app, when I launched for the first time, Windows, it got approved in 1 day. Android, it got approved in 1 day. Apple did criminal interrogation with me. What are you going to keep in your app? Why are you writing free in this? Why are you writing paid in this? What exactly are you going to upload? Are you going to sell anything on the app? Are you going to sell anything outside and then provide it on the app? Because many times it happens, we sell on website and provide it on the app. Every tab that is there in my app, isme kya hai, everything. They did interrogation. It felt like I'm sitting in police ka 3rd degree room. I said, bro, I am a teacher, I am a professor, I am only selling video lectures here. Problem kidhar hai? Now don't say, sir, they are taking care of safety. But what safety? Android maybe there is safety. But Apple fans don't understand all this. So Vansh decides, sir, I am such a big Apple fan. Now I want to become investor in Apple. How to become investor in any company? Come on. Buy the shares. Vansh decides to purchase 1 share in Apple. Dekho, in student life, we can afford only 1 share. You are able to afford 1 share also. That is a big thing. I couldn't afford 1 also. So 1 share. You decide to buy Apple. Now are you a shareholder? Come on. Though 1 share, but you are a shareholder. Apple will conduct AGM, declare a dividend. To the extent of 1 share, you are still eligible, no? Will you get dividend from that 1 share? Here Apple has got 2 options. Option 1. Apple is asking you, Vansh, which bank you have your account? Axis Bank. Which branch? Malabar Hill. You give me your account details, IFSC, your account number. I will transfer your dividend money in your Indian bank account. Is one option. Option 2, bro, if you want your dividend ka money, 1 share ka dividend ka money, you will have to open a bank account in our country, and in that local bank account, we will give you your dividend ka money. Apple can give you 2 options. They give you your dividend locally in India, or you will get your dividend in America. Go there and take it. If that company decides to give your dividend here, gives you the facility, makes the arrangement, that Apple, a foreign company in Indian income tax law, will be considered as domestic company. Now read the statement that we have written. Now you will understand. If it makes arrangement for distribution in India, it will be considered as domestic company. And Indian income tax law are written on the basis of domestic, non-domestic. They are not written on the basis of Indian foreign. Indian company is always going to be domestic. So what happens in practical life? Why are these chartered accountants not aware of this? Apple is aware of this definition. They know that if we distribute dividend, they will make us domestic. So they decide not to distribute. They don't. So practical purposes, foreign companies remain non-domestic. But theoretically, can a foreign company sometimes become domestic? Can matlab when? When they distribute dividend in India, they will be considered as domestic company. Understood? This is point 3 of which list? Person liable to pay tax. Is domestic company liable to pay tax? Yes. And is non-domestic company also liable to pay tax? Yes. Wait. Here we are writing it. Ab suno. The question is, sir, a non-domestic company. Let us take example of Apple Incorporation or Google Incorporation or Meta. Meta is the owner of WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Meta, no. Foreign companies hai. Foreign company hai na. Supposingly they don't make arrangement for distribution of dividend in India. So they will become non-domestic. Non-domestic. But still, did we discuss the example of Phil Salt? Is it possible that someone from a foreign country comes to India and earns income? That income may be taxable or exempt? The answer is hidden in the second chapter. If we don't keep you here, then second chapter will become irrelevant. First, we have to keep you here. Once you are here, then we can take a call, taxable or not taxable as per the second chapter. If we don't keep you in the definition of person, then second chapter will not be able to do anything. So first, we want to keep everyone here. Whether you are resident of this country, that country, domestic company, foreign company, non-domestic company, everyone will come. Then we want tax or we don't want tax. 1, we have the second chapter. 2, sometimes we can grant you exemptions on certain transactions. But as far as definition of person is concerned, we will keep everyone in the definition of person. So, domestic or non-domestic will both be liable to pay tax, assuming they have earned income. So, income tax is payable by every person. First point in the definition of person, individual. Second point in the definition of person, HUF. Third, next, a partnership firm. And wherever in income tax law we write partnership firm, it will always include LLP, limited liability partnership. See, LLP shows mixed characteristics. LLP has got major features of partnership firm. Only one feature of companies, that is limited liability. For income tax purposes, LLP will be considered as partnership firm. In any case, majorly it resembles firms only, no? So, any taxation ka section that I teach you for partnership firm will be applicable also for LLP. The law applicable to firms and LLPs is absolutely same. Is that understood? So, partnership firm including LLP. Same logic as HUF. Only difference is there you become a part of it by birth. Here you become a part of it by an express contractual arrangement. By doing your, what do you call it, partnership deed. So, again there will be a partnership firm. There will be many partners, X, Y, Z. The firm will earn some income. Will this income be distributed amongst the profit, amongst the partners in their profit sharing ratio? So that means we will have to go and take tax from every individual partner. Okay, idea. Make the firm assessee liable to pay tax, and therefore there will be tax here on the firm itself. And after paying tax, we can distribute the income to the partners. We don't have to take any tax from the partner. Make sense? Third point from the chapter, exempt income, without starting the chapter, exempt income. First point, exempt income, agriculture. Second point from exempt income, share of profit by HUF to member. Third point, share of profit by firm to partner, exempt. By exempt? Because already paid tax. Absolutely same logic. So, individual, HUF, company, firm. Next, we have totally 7 points in the definition of person. AOP. Some students, you know, when I start teaching them at CA Inter, see, my first interaction with students comes at intermediate only. My subject comes only at intermediate. So, there are sometimes people who tell me, sir, we have studied this concept in class 12 or some other accounts ka topic or something. It also depends on inter mein how many subjects have started, and these are early days, so I believe not a lot of things you have studied at intermediate. So there will be people who have come across this term before in life. There will be people who have never heard this term before. Let us assume no one knows anything and go ahead accordingly. AOP stands for Association of Person, and it has got one more name, Body of Individuals, BOI, that is Body of Individuals. AOP, BOI, Association of Persons, Body of Individuals. They are one and the same. They are two names of the same thing. Can one person have two names? Virat Kohli is also called Chiku. हाँ ना, हाँ. So there are two names of the same organization. What does this mean? First, what are the examples, and then why do we have two names? Everything will be discussed. AOP BOI means a group of persons who have come together. A group of persons who have come together for a common purpose or goal. A group of persons who have come together for a common purpose or goal is basically an association of persons. They have not registered an organization to make profits like a company or a partnership. Think about it. A company is also a group of people coming together. Partnership क्या है? You've studied Partnership Act in law. Have you? Partnership is the relationship between two or more persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. Section 4. But then how is this different? Their motto primarily is not profit. Incidental profits will take place and you have to pay tax if they have taken place. But their main motto is a common purpose or goal. Still, to give you some examples, I am going to be slightly offensive, and if you have an objection, you kindly let me know in advance. Chalega? If I am a little offensive? Bro, I love how sporty you are. How many from the second best college of South Bombay? HR? Second best college of South Bombay, HR. So you will be aware of what I am talking about. Second best ही तो है. You want to discuss with me तो best कौन है? You know, every time I say this, the first question that students ask, sir, तो best. Bro, first of all, a college can be good or bad if people are going. Where people don't go only, there's no question of good or bad. ये correct है? And we used to go to college. And if you still argue with me, नहीं sir, still our college is the. तो एक बात, तेरे college में science है, arts नहीं, only commerce, and campus also you are sharing with the neighboring college. So where is the question? How do you rate yourself or call yourself best? We'll not have. We have owned two buildings. रहने देना, छोड़ना, forget it. Okay. So first of all, people don't go, and those who go only for this. Do you agree? Protract Club. What is it? Group of people who have come together for a common purpose or goal. Don't you think so? Oh, planting of trees. Oh, what else? What else is done? और क्या क्या कर? You are a member of that club? I just want to give you one bad news in case you are involved with any of such activities, that for the next few years you will have to quit everything. It works like that only. You have decided to choose a professional course, and the best and toughest possible. Toughest bhi hai. I will not make a statement this is an easy exam. That deserves 2 tight slaps. So you have to quit everything. Please understand. Okay? But let the other people who are not doing anything in life, they are doing this. You must have come across organization called Lions Club. Hey? You remember? No? Just asking. If not you, then maybe parents, family members, somebody will be member of Lions Club. What is this? Common purpose or goal. People become members. They have networking. We have Lions Club circle where there are good number of chartered accountants in the circle, good number of doctors, and they get massive business from the circle itself. You know, our Lions Club has got one child specialist, one this specialist, that specialist, one cardiologist. So we have any problem, we go to our circle ka doctor. And they charge. So that network becomes net worth. So one, you are, making some business connections over there. And two, as a byproduct, parallelly, organizations are also these organizations are involved in some kind of charitable and social, whether planting of trees or providing, food to poor people, or food to animals, maybe during the auspicious occasions or festivals, etc. They are involved in all kinds of activities. For that matter, any charitable trust, when created, is an association of persons. Of course, your question will be, sir, charitable trust must be getting some income tax exemption. Yes, it does, to a certain extent, and for which we have a chapter called Assessment of Charitable Trust in CA Final. But first you have to create the organization. How do you create that organization? As an association of person. Now with the examples, are you clear? So while their main motive is not making profits, but will they have some profits, incidental profits? And once you have income, you have to pay tax. So we have to keep you here. Association of person, body of individual will have to pay tax. Is that clear? Now last question. Sir, what is the difference between AOP and BOI? Supposingly, one AOP, Rotary Club of HR College. So the members here are X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Are all members of this club human beings, individuals? Hello. So you can call it a BOI. If all members are individuals, it is a body of individual. And tell me one thing, technical hai, but you'll answer this. Is individual falling in the definition of person? So you can also call it AOP, because individual is also person. But once in a while, what will happen? Take another example. For example, a club example, NSCI. NSCI you are aware of? Full form nahi manga tha. My question was, you are bro, that club only. I would have taken a local example, Mafatlal Club, but then a lot of people wouldn't have understood. Okay, only the name is Mafatlala, there is no membership. At any price, there is no membership. 30 years ago, my father was offered membership at 20,000 life membership for all family members. He said, kya karenge? At 20,000, he didn't take it. Today, at 2 crore also, they are not giving membership. De rahe. That is already taken, no. My dad thought it was not important, so he didn't take it. Let's talk about NSCI. It's a club, a group of people. Can Mr. A be a member over there? Can Mr. B be a member over there? Do you know this? That a company called X Limited can also buy membership of this. We call it corporate membership. So here, the members, not all of them are individuals. We do have some non-individual member also. So then we can't call it a body of individual. This will be only called AOP. So if we use the term AOP, it covers everything. AOP covers BOI also. But BOI cannot be applicable if a non-individual member is in the organization. Ultimately, they have come together for a common purpose of goal. Will they have incomes? They will have to pay tax on those incomes. So income tax is payable by every person. First, Jago. Individual, HUF, company, firm, AOP, BOI. Next, local authority. Local authority. Government in our country operates at 3 levels. That much you are aware, no? So we have a central government, we have a state government, and the local management is done by the local authority. For example, bro, if you are angry, you can tell me after class, gali dene ka kya jarurat? It is not BMC. It is MCGM, Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. Municipal Corporation of Greater, bro, richest municipal body in the world. From Kolaba to the 5 entry points of Mumbai. You should be aware, Mumbai has got 5 entry points. So on the western line, we have something called the Dahisar Cheknaka. On the central line, we have 2 entry points, Mulund East and Mulund West. So LBS and Thane we call it. It's okay. It's okay. On the bhula diya kidhar. We have one entry point at Vashi which takes us to Navi Mumbai, and we have one entry point at Airoli again which takes us to Navi Mumbai. These 5 are the entry points of Mumbai, and inside these entry points the entire area is under the control of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. Of course, the isar you cross, so you will be within the range of Mira Bhayandar Municipal Corporation, or there is, we have Thane Municipal Corporation, we have Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation. You may laugh at Navi Mumbai, sir, Vashi, sir, Kharghar, cleanest city. You go to Vashi, you'll feel you are in some foreign country. Navi Mumbai is now going to be blessed with the new airport, and most operations are going to shift over there. Like it or hate it, you will have to travel all the way to Navi Mumbai. No problem. We have freeway and Atal Setu. Connectivity is awesome. But once that Atal Setu gets over, thereafter you know what is the condition. Koi baat nahi. They run the rocker affairs. So supposingly you have contaminated water at home, one fine day, you won't be calling Modi ji, pani dekho na. So let me tell you, it is not his responsibility. The local situations, the traffic situation, the water supply, the electricity, all that will be done by Municipal Corporation. Any trade license, you want to start any shop, you want to start any food eatery ka shop, more licenses required. Along with food, you want to serve liquor, slip of tongue, sorry, liquor, additional license. You want to have any screen to show matches, extra license. You want to have a dance floor and DJ, extra license. For every activity you add, an additional license is required. All these licensing will be done by Municipal Corporation. Bro, they get money for issuing birth and death certificates also. Richest municipal body. Some time back, मेरा एक tweet था. Then Twitter क्या है पता है? Twitter is not popular unless you also screenshot and put it on Instagram. Your tweets become popular only if they are popular on Instagram. My tweet was simple, and it was a little before the war situation broke. I said, Modi ji, don't attack Pakistan. There's no point attacking Pakistan. Do one thing, don't use central government funds, use Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai ka funds, and if they decide, before evening they can purchase Pakistan. If Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai wants, it's 12:30 almost now, before 5:30 they can purchase entire Pakistan. Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai ka budget, the funds is bigger than the entire economy of Pakistan. And you see the positivity in this. Okay, Maharashtra political parties are fighting like anything. Everyone wants power. So best, see, every political party in Maharashtra is divided into two. So we have one municipal corporation here, one in Pakistan. We give both political parties. You appoint mayor here, you appoint mayor there. No election. Divide. One turn you here, you there, and second turn you exchange. No elections required. Then Pakistan will also belong to Mumbai. I have got a lot of ideas, and you have a lot to learn from me other than tax also. I get paid only for tax, that is also too less. So, but time permitting, no, so many things I'll tell you, bro. And you, so I am telling you that you definitely need to learn a few things from me over and above tax, but not during the classroom hours, obviously. So, bro, these municipal corporations are making massive money, and let me tell you, if their name comes here, so what do you mean? They have to pay tax. If you fall in this list, you have to pay tax. Matlab, in case it is not clear, the municipal corporation will pay income tax to central government. Arey, income taxes go to central government. We discussed it in the last class. Municipal corporation will pay income tax to the central government. Ye clear hai, everyone? And ladies and gentlemen, last point in the definition of person. Person ka definition hereby gets over. Income tax is payable by every person. Individual, HUF, company, firm, AOP, local authority. Now what? You know ETC? End of thinking capacity. They are tired of making point after point. So just like income from other sources, if you don't go anywhere, you will come here. A similar thing they have written here. They have given us something called AJP. artificial juridical person. AJP, artificial juridical person. This category is simply asking you a question. Bro, do you have income? And are you covered in any of the first 6 categories? Because anybody who is not covered in any of the above categories will be covered here. Anyone who is not covered in any of the above categories, but you have, having income was an assumption. Without income, there's no question of income tax. So, do you have income? Yes, yes, yes. But you're not covered in individual. Matlab you have income, but you are not individual, HUF, company, firm, AOP, local authority. So, you will come where? Artificial juridical person. I would have given even without asking. Obviously, how will you know by yourself? Example, Chitti the robot. Now think about it. Can the robot have income? No, it can. It can in case it is not clear. We can have a bank account in the name of the robot. But is the robot an individual? Natural person? So obviously it is not HUF, company, firm, AOP. But it has earned income. I have hired a robot to do my day-to-day activities. I am transferring money in the robot account. The robot has to pay tax. Obviously, it is an artificial person. The responsibility of doing compliances will be on the caretaker, the scientist. So, if that is your question, no, sir, robot kaise, sir? Robot, how will we collect taxes? It's a machine. So, why didn't you ask the same question for company or partnership firm or HUF? They are all artificial persons. Reliance Industries Limited, if it does not pay tax, whom are we going to arrest? The memorandum? Ke certificate of incorporation. Every artificial person will have a natural person who is representing it. Companies will have the directors. Partnership firm will have the partners. HUF will have the karta. So robot will have the caretaker. Duties will be done by caretaker. But tax will be calculated for the robot. You understood? One more example I will give you. One more. You wanted one, I am giving you one. Any student here who has a pet at home? Pet hai? Pet. You have a pet? Kya? Dog hai. What do you call it? Whiskey. Yeah, Saturday ko ye sab. One, it's a Saturday. And two, hey Bhagwan, who do you have? Cat. Cat? Kya naam hai? You have a dog whom you call Frankie. HR mein ho. That guy Raju is inside or outside? Outside hai. Frankie. Sahi hai. Frankie, whiskey. Okay. So you do have any, no one else, no? I'll tell you one thing. Last couple of batches, every batch I asked this question. There was a girl who had a cat at home. She called her cat what? Chinu. Since then I used to call her only Chinu. But don't worry, I will not call you by those names. Okay. Can your dog have income? Acha, for 1 minute. Acha, for the two students here will be able to relate to the example that I am giving, because maybe they have someone around them. Unrelated question. This question also I ask almost in every batch. Out of all the female students of the class, anybody is married? I said, don't be surprised. The CA final batch mein 20% female students are married with children. Some are elder than me. Chartered Accountancy course is such a course. You finish it, it will get over. You don't finish it, it will go on and on forever. So don't be surprised. No one. Achha, you all are all foundation. No, there is hardly any graduate student in any case. No? Because the direct entry graduate students, even at intermediate, I have some married students in some of my batches. It was simply a late decision to pursue. There is nothing great or big or bad in that. Okay. Just in case you still don't know of the fact, because you all are foundation students, I am giving you some insight into your future. Some years later, you will be having a pet at home. whom you will be like, hey, shoot, Tommy, hut. You can make that poor guy do whatever you want, but that pet will be covered in the first point. Because income tax recognize, in case it is still not clear, वो future husband का बात, वो हाँ, some were still, I thought it was clear, but some were not, so I had to make it, I have to explain jokes, ठीक, हाँ, तो वो इधर है. I am talking about the dog, the cat. Let us take an example. The dog. Can your dog run a race? Participate in any other sport also? Win some income out of it? Is liable to pay tax. Your dog is not individual HUF company from AOP, but will fall in the last point. That is artificial juridical person. And don't counter this explanation by asking a question. No, sir, how to take tax from the dog? No, to bite kare bahu. No, bro. Just like if the answer was already given in the robot example itself, that you, the caretaker, are responsible for doing the tax compliances. So you have to calculate the income, file the return, pay the taxes. In case there is failure, the dog won't be arrested, you will be arrested. In case there is failure. So anybody who has earned income but is not covered in the first 6 categories, we are not going to spare you. Everyone has to pay tax. Income tax is payable by every person, and if you are not covered in the first 6 categories, we will cover you in the 7th category. Is that clear? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of kya? Doubt? No? Person. Clear hai? To complete our first chapter, we had to learn only 3 concepts. Kya? Person, previous year, assessment. As far as meaning of previous year assessment year is concerned, some understanding to you already have. First year we earn income, next year we calculate. Year of earning income will be called previous, and very next year when we calculate assess. So when we calculate it as assessment and the year is over, so we call it previous. So I hardly need any time for explanation of the budget which is applicable for your exam, etc. The moment I complete the explanation of PYAY, I will leave your class. Happy? Okay. I know some of you all must be thinking that this sir does not give break. Is what you were thinking? We think about it. In a 3-hour lecture, you don't even realize when the time goes. Oh, you do? Okay. Whenever we will be doing very, very hard, complicated theory, if when required, it is not a timing thing. 3 hours ke baad I will give you, or after 2 hours only. If required, we will take a break. And for that, I have to be tired. No, see, I am the one who is continuously talking. You are sitting and enjoying. The moment I am tired, I will give you the break. But bad news, chota sa, is this, that it's a 3-hour class. When I used to go to Kerala, in 15 days, I used to complete the full batch and come. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 12-hour class, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Same students. Minimum 150. It used to go to 200, 250 ka batch size. And in the total 12 hours, total break, 3 breaks together was 1 hour. Breakfast 15 minutes, lunch half an hour, and tea 15 minutes. And I didn't get tired. Sorry. Sir, bro, I am withdrawing my admission. These days, no, Gen Z ka patience level have fallen so badly that you may probably withdraw your admission in this much also. But believe me, if there is a need, there is no time frame. We can, option 1, we can follow this rule that at the end of 1.5 hours or 2 hours, I will give you 10-minute break fix. But it does not make sense. Okay? Because sometimes it will be a case where after 1 hour, you will think, sir, bahut heavy ho gaya. No, then we are following the rule. So let's not lay down any such rule. Whenever required, we'll take up. Don't worry about it. Okay? Person is over. PYAY will get done. I will not look at the watch. I will leave you. Whether 1 or 1:30, I will leave you. Okay? You have any ribbon to cut? You have any other lecture? Ribbon? Cut. Inauguration ke liye ja. Who are you that people have invited you? Nahi hai na? Okay? Kya? Previous year assessment year. Previous year is going to be the year of earning income. Assessment year is going to be the year of calculation. and obviously payment of tax. See, calculation will be of two things. Calculation will be of income also and tax also, but payment obviously will be only of tax. No, all that you will do in the assessment. So 1 year you earn, next year you calculate and pay. 1 year you earn, next year you calculate and pay. The year of earning income will be called, come on, previous year, and the year of calculation and payment, the immediately next following year, will be called. This discussion also, if you go and do in front of your parents who are chartered accountants, no, previous year assessment year ka meaning I know. So they will already, you know, automatically you will get this feeling, ah, yeah, dheere dheere my child is learning something. Because till now they have assumed you are good for nothing, which is true, But start having this discussion. Okay, year of earning income, previous year, very next year, assessment year. Now then, we discuss this, and I told you today's lecture only I will come into the detail. India follows financial year system. So our Indian financial year starts from 1st April to 31st March. So in India, when you talk about finance and you are referring to any year, you will never say 2025 or 2024 or 23. That is incorrect presentation of a year. The correct presentation is, if somebody is asking you a financial year, so financial year will be 23-24, which will be from 1st April 23 to 31st March 24. Financial year 24-25 will be from 1st April 24 to 31st March 25. The ongoing year, think about it. Financial year 25-26 is going on. It started on 1st April 25, ended on, or will end on. Okay, I will have to take you a little into the future, because your exam will be in May 26, which is commencement of another year. So you will be in which year at that time? So that is financial year 26-27. Whenever you are talking in reference of any year, today you will have to make your third correction. First correction, we won't say non-taxable, we will say. Second, we will not say 5 categories of income, 5 heads of income. And third, we will not be saying 2025. For example, if I ask you some personal question, will it be okay? If it is, you are uncomfortable, you say no. Your name, well, I'm proud of you, because you know, many a times to explain concepts we need some people who are sporty enough. Then only you will have the learning with fun. Okay, your good name? अरे हाँ, sorry, last time actually क्या है, everyday का lecture होगा ना? नहीं, once I start taking lectures every day, which is obviously after foundation results वाला session, by the end of every batch, I know the name of every student of the class. But the moment we have a gap in between, so when the gap is there, I am still going and teaching somewhere else, and I am interacting with hundreds and thousands of people on a regular basis. So I sometimes forget names, but if I teach every day, I will remember the names of everyone. Prince, your birthday? 444, 4th April 2004. So if somebody is asking you in which year you were born, what do you say? 2004? No. No. If you have said that till date, if you sleep in my class, तो ऐसा ही होगा. Your year of birth is not 2004 anymore. It is 45. It is by April 2004. So that is 45. I thought most of you all will be 2006-7 wala. 2006 I believe. 7 होगा. अरे अभी एक एक का individual graduates will be 2002, 3, 4 also. Graduate है ना? हाँ. 2006 कौन? Who? हाँ. What's your name? Arham. Arham date? 29. Legends are born in December, I must tell you. So after today, क्या हुआ? If someone is asking you, and bro, you just, you know, stayed in 2006 by a small margin. It could have been a little here and there, some calculation error, and it could have been 2007. If somebody is asking, if somebody ever asked you till date, your year of birth, your answer was 2006 till today. After today, it will be 6-7. 6-7. You understood this? You never talk about any year in isolation on a calendar year basis. We'll talk in this language from today to anyone. Stop wishing people Happy New Year on 1st January. So no, we are Indians. 1st January is New Year. After Diwali, it is a New Year. Then when else? Gudi Padwa ko we say Hindu New Year. Then Parsi New Year. Wo Kodat Sal. What do you call it? Navroz. Navroz is Parsi. Every day there is a New Year, bro. So let us see, irrespective of which religion we believe in, because our religion is one, we will wish Happy New Year on 1st of April. We will wish Happy New Year to each other on 1st of April. Anybody born in the month of Jan, Feb, March? Yes, bro, your good name? Sambhav. Sambhav बोल सकता. Sambhav, ऐसे accent में it was not required. Sambhav. तीर्थंकर भगवान है. Simple. Sambhav. Which year? And date? 2nd Jan. Okay. So we have Arham and we have Sambhav. 29 December 2006 and sorry, date वापस बोलो. 2nd Jan. Bro, ये calculation mistake. I'll tell you what. While it looks like Arham and Sambhav were born in different years, what if I tell you they were born in the same year? That is 6-7. India follows financial year system. We don't calculate our income from Jan to March. We will calculate our income from Jan to December. We'll calculate our income from April to March. 1st April to 31st March. Is that clear? Now what will happen? I will earn income in 23-24, but I will calculate in 24-25. Think about it. I will earn income in 24-25, but I will calculate in. Do you understand? So, if this is the year in which I am earning income, so I will calculate in which year? Think about it. Only in the next year. 24-25. This year ka income I will calculate in 25-26. This year ka 26-27. This year ka. So do you realize my income earning year will become my previous year and my calculation year will become my assessment year. Earn income from this date to this date and very next year when it start calculating your income. Earn in 1 year, calculate in the next year. But by the way, when you are calculating for which year? Previous year. Now often CA students get this confusion. Sir, why is my current year called my previous year? Kya confusion? The year for which I am calculating should be my current year, no? But we call it the previous year because when we sit down for calculation, by that time that year has already become previous year because by that time that year is already over. अरे समझा क्या? Therefore, our current year is called previous year. The year for which we are calculating is called previous year. Is that clear? Now, last part of the data is, sir, if I am giving my exam in May 26, then I have to learn the income tax law of which amongst them? Because every previous year will have different income tax law on the basis of the applicable budget. I will give you that data also. But some of you all are guessing. You all did the same thing when I was doing charging section. Which previous, some said 26, 27, some said, take minute. I am getting paid. It's too less. But let me only tell you what is the applicable year. For that, you need to have one more part of knowledge. That every year in our country, on the 1st of February, every year on the 1st of February, our government announces something called budget. By the way, knowledge chahiye. If you want knowledge, so in case it is a Lok Sabha election year, example 2024, so there will be two budgets. One, outgoing government will give budget, a temporary budget called interim budget, and then the new government after elections will bring a fresh budget. Last year coincidentally was an election year, so there was a budget like regularly on 1st of February, but the main budget came on 23rd of July last year. This year it is not an election year, so we already had the budget which was announced officially as per system on the 1st of February. Now in this budget, what happens? What do you mean by this thing called budget? Whenever we go to buy something basic also, if I go to a garment shop and tell them that show me some clothes, or if I go to buy a property, or if I go in the market to buy anything, the first thing that the shopkeeper will ask me is, what is your budget? In what range you want to buy? You want to buy a car, two-wheeler? I am not an expert in cars. You are an expert. I have money. I ask you which gadi I should buy. So first thing that you will ask me again is, what is the make, etc. that I want, hatchback or sedan or SUV, secondary. First I have to make my budget. So when they are running a country, don't you think before the commencement of a financial year, they have to be clear about it? So our financial years are placed somewhat like this. Okay. So we have financial year 23-24. We have financial year 24-25. We have financial year 25-26, financial year 26-27. The same years that we have discussed here above. Before the year starts, do you understand this is the 1st of February? 1st February 23, there will be a budget. Now, do you have the brain to understand that this budget cannot be for 20-23, that is almost over. You have to start budget before the year starts. You have to make your budget before the year starts. So, this budget will be for 23-24. That in the upcoming year, what will be government incomes and expenses? Now, this year we will run the government on the basis of the last budget, but then somewhere here we will have one more budget, but that budget will be for this year. For the upcoming year, this will be our government's income and expenditure. 24 was an exceptional year. We did have one budget for the upcoming year. This year we did have one budget for the upcoming year, but we still had another election year, so one more budget. But that is an exceptional. That is gone now. Let's not talk about this. We are right now in the calendar year 25. On 1st of February, we had a budget year. That budget was for the year 25-26. And by the way, before you go into your examination hall, do you understand there will be one more budget on this date? Last budget right now is 25. But before your exam, there will be one more budget. And this is precisely the question that I have to discuss. Sir, I have to study. Your only options are this budget or this budget. See, there's no question of studying past budgets. Common sense says latest. But latest matlab which? Now when we are studying or before exam? Sir, if that before exam wala budget is applicable, then aren't we studying the long run right now? So we will have clarity on this issue and our PY-AY ka concept will get over. One thing is for sure, that this budget will be for previous year 26-27. So you are clear that budget comes before the year starts. 1st of February, election year is an exception. Let's not talk about it. Correct? Hai? Now, what does this budget do? The budget speech is divided into two parts. If you haven't had the experience of ever watching the budget speech because it was not relevant for you, it was too boring, and anything that is beyond 30 seconds is boring for this generation. Our attention span is 30 seconds. Then 59 seconds ka reels also don't have that much popularity. Correct? In fact, shorter the duration. Like I saw a 3-second reel 2 days ago only, that there is this North Indian guy screaming बाप के कपड़े फटे पड़े हैं, घर में खाने को नहीं है और बेटा बोल रहा है RCB. 3 seconds का reel, but very popular reel. है ना? तो your attention span for watching an entire budget speech, bro, for a lecture that is going to contribute to your professional career and it is going to make you one of the best people in the country, every few minutes I have to do this. The problem is attention span. तो ऐसा है कि once upon a time old finance ministers used to finish off their part 1 in about 1 hour, where they give estimates of government income and expense. So when the finance minister starts talking at 11 o'clock, fixed time budget ka, finance minister says that during the upcoming year, because they're talking about the upcoming year, I will collect this much from direct taxes, I will collect this much from indirect taxes, from this money I will spend these many crores in health, these many crores in education, in defense, smart cities. They give their plans of the upcoming year, income and expenditure ka estimated figures, first 1 hour. And at the end of that 1 hour, every finance minister makes this statement. Because you all have not seen budget speeches, I am telling you. that honorable speaker, because they are addressing the speaker of the Lok Sabha, I will now present my tax proposals. I will now present my tax proposals. Actually, this part is irrelevant for us if you understand. Where government is spending how many crores, irrelevant. We are interested in this part, the second part of the budget speech, which is a part of our syllabus. We have to study these tax proposals of income tax as well as GST. So we need to know about these tax proposals. And traditionally, since the time I am in Chartered Accountancy, my system has always been that on 1st February, I don't take the morning slot, evening slot. 11 o'clock, I start watching the budget speech. At about 11:40, 45, maximum 12 o'clock, this part gets over. I start making the notes at 12 o'clock. About 12:30, this part gets over. My mother will always come and ask at 12:30 food. I will eat at 12:30, 12:45, I'll finish my food. 1 o'clock, I'll leave for my lectures. But then now our finance minister is a, sorry, but lady. And she likes to talk a lot. So this part, believe me, last 6 years, sometimes it has gone for 1.5 hours more than that, which was never more than 45 minutes, 50 minutes. So one day when my mother came and asked at 12:30, food, is it over? I said, no, it has not started. But this part is totally irrelevant, you getting it. What do we have to do from this part of the budget speech, which will directly come in our exam? Two things. One, the tax rates. For those of you all who are not aware, which is all of you all, income tax ka rates are not given in Income Tax Act. Tax ka rates change every year. And what will be the tax rates applicable for the upcoming year, they will announce in the budget. For example, in 2025 ka budget, this is the 2025 ka budget, which was announced this year. They have given tax rates for the upcoming year. Before your exam, they will announce 26 ka budget. They will give you tax rates for the next year. What will be the tax rates in the upcoming year? We will give you in advance so that you also make your budgets. And second, they will give you, and auntie is very, very fond of doing this. I propose the following changes to the income tax law. GST also, but I am not concerned with that. You can discuss that in your indirect tax class. The following changes. Matlab every chapter will have some changes, amendments, and we have to study those amendments. That means from the budget we have to study two things. Majorly we are learning income tax, but from budget we have to study two things. One, tax rates. That will directly come in chapter 12. Hello. Tax calculation will directly learn in chapter number 12. But amendments can be chapter specific. There can be some amendment which came in chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. So as and when I do those amendments, I will specifically mention in red color in class that this is a new section. This is an amendment, because amendments have highest probability of coming in exam. New law, hai na? So they always want to ask questions on the new law. These two things we will be learning. But comes the main question now. Sir, does this happen in every budget? Tax rates and amendments come in every budget. It came in 25. It will come again in 26. Previous years, yeah, past budgets, so we will not study. But for us, the last two or the latest two are 25 and before exam 26. So which one do we have to learn? Be clear on this. When the budget is announced, do you know it is not the final law? Today's lecture only I told you. Budget is only proposals. Statement, dekh finance minister in statement will also say proposals. Then it will be converted into bill, and after president ka stamp, it will become act. So once that happens, we no longer call it budget of 25 or 26, we call it Finance Act. Finance Act 23, Finance Act 24, Finance Act number 2 in 24. Why? Election year. Finance Act 25, Finance Act 26. Now, do you realize that if there is a finance proposal which is coming here in 25, everyone with me? Last part, we are getting there. This is going to get converted into Finance Act, which will give you tax rates of this year. But you don't have to calculate here. You have to calculate here, because this is going to be your income earning year. Calculation will happen here. So do you realize the cycle is what? That if we have a Finance Act of 24, so that will give me tax rates of which previous year? 24-25, jiska calculation I will be doing in 25-26. Make sense? Matlab this year when we are filing our returns for the last year, we are filing as per Finance Act of 24. Now, this year there was this budget, 25 ka budget, which is applicable. It has given us tax rates for the ongoing year 25-26. But we will apply these tax rates next year when we are in the assessment year 26-27. Correct? So this year, these tax rates and amendments will apply. But next year, will there be one more budget? It will come in February and will apply for the previous year 26-27. Matlab, it will come here. Will apply for this year. But we will calculate when? In the assessment year 27-28. Fantastic. So every year this happens. Sir, I will study from this two things. Tax rates, amendments. Tax rates, amendments. I should study which one? बहुत simple है. बहुत simple है. Please understand, you are giving exam when? May 26. In May 26, which year is going on? Tell me the financial year, not PYAY. 26-27 is going on. In an ongoing year, you can't calculate income. So that year in which you are giving your exam has to become your assessment year. And you will calculate for the year which just got over. In May 26, you are sitting somewhere over here. So you cannot calculate this year ka income, but you can calculate this year ka income. And ladies and gentlemen, this simply means that this is the budget that will apply. The Finance Act of 2025 will apply for your exam in May 26. 1 second. You will be having some friends who have not given foundation now, who will give September. And effectively will come for intermediate class in September. What if I tell you that whatever I teach them will be same? Why? Sir, here is same. No change. No amendment. Same budget. Same previous year. Same assessment. Okay, wait. There will be someone who will give foundation in Jan. And will come for intermediate for which attempt? So what if I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are still having the same budget. But the moment we go to May 27, now think about it. Has the year changed? Now we are in 27-28. So we can calculate 26-27. So May 27, ka student will learn this budget. September 27 will learn this. And January 28 will learn this. Earlier it used to be May-November. Now it is May, September and January. Ladies and gentlemen, for your full syllabus, in fact, syllabus of 2 batches after you also, the applicable Finance Act is going to be the Finance Act of 2025. This I will ask you again and again throughout your syllabus. You have to be clear. I have to learn tax rates and amendments of which budget? Finance Act 25. For my exam, which previous year is applicable? Conclusion kar. For May 26, matlab if students ask, okay sir, first day ko I had written at the top, May 26, September 26, Jan 27. Why is it same? Any student giving May 26, September 26 or Jan 27, the applicable Finance Act will be 25. The applicable previous year will be 25-26 and the applicable assessment year will be. This is so customized. If I give you an example, no, that Mr. X has earned salary, I will take 25-26 as my example. Because in my examples, income has to be earned in the year applicable for your exam. Last year ka law and next year ka law will be different. And our examples will also be customized as per year. But of course, May students are privileged. May students are most intelligent also over the years ka experience hai. I don't have anything against September or January students. But ye fact hai that May students have more caliber. And second, you have got, an upper hand. God forbid, we don't pray, but we believe that we will be successful with flying colors. God forbid, by chance you are giving September for some reason. You don't have to study anything different. Same syllabus. Jan also, same syllabus. But poor guy, if he does not clear in January someone, then has to repeat in May and study all the new amendments and all the new tax rates. January students are at the riskiest phase. Earlier it was November. Or let me put it this way. Every May there will be new budget and will be repeated in September and January. And you have to study the budget of 25. Again and again I will ask you. Applicable budget 25. Applicable previous year 25-26. And applicable assessment year 26-27. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your concept of concepts of PY, AY and person. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of our first chapter, that is basic concepts, first chapter of income tax done. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.